Chapter 213. How can someone he doesn't like be qualified to eat with him? Malay didn't know what to say. She didn't understand either. Xiao Rui was such a sensitive existence. Why did the young master look for her? Couldn't he not look for her? It wasn't Tang Bao's fault for letting her imagination run wild. Even she was thinking too much. Is he the only one who knows how to find women? I know how to find men too. Tang Bao roared. Bao, don't be impulsive. Malay's hands were blurry as she quickly stopped her. Accompany me to the bar tonight. The young master has no objections. It's none of his business. I'm going to find a male model who's 1,000 times more handsome than him. Tang Bao's expression was particularly ferocious. Tang Bao wanted to tell Di Hao Ian that she was going to socialize in the afternoon. She decided not to call him and sent a message instead. Alluring Bao, I'm going to socialize in the evening. Don't wait for me. I'll go back by myself. After sending the message, her phone rang. It was Di Hao Ian. Tang Bao cursed in her heart. Why'd he call? Why did you add me if you didn't use the chat app? She picked up what? What do you think? Di Hao Ian's domineering aura came over coldly. I didn't do anything. I'm just going out to socialize in the evening. You're not allowed to go. I don't go out every day. Why can I allow it? Can there be a limit to your overbearingness? The more you don't let me go, the more I want to go. Tang Bao hung up the phone angrily. Not long after the phone call ended, the chat app had a reaction. She opened it. Host, try drinking. Tang Bao bit her lip and glared. Only you're allowed to drink and look for your old lover. I can't even drink. However, she didn't go to the bar to drink in the first place. It was fine if she didn't want to drink. Tang Bao and Malay went to the bar that night and found a private room. She said to the waiter, give us the best male model in the private room. How many do you want? Give me as many as you can. I want to pick slowly. Okay, please wait a moment, the waiter said and left. Malay asked nervously and excitedly, are you serious? Of course. After Tang Bao said that, he turned to Malay and said, don't be shy. Just pick whatever you like. Malay thought, I'd better not. When the young master pursued the matter, at least she did not help the evildoer. Before long, the male models came in one by one. They stood in a row in front of them. She was wearing slim-fit clothes that outlined her curves. It was true that she was tall and slim, but she was too skinny. And that face, it was very ordinary. Tang Bao shook his head in disappointment and asked the male supervisor, is that all? The male supervisor said, then let's change to another batch. Change. Then, the male models lined up and left, just like when they came. Malay said, she's really not that good, but the clothes she wears are very flirtatious. Ha ha. You can't just pick people based on their clothes. You have to look at the lines of their bodies under their clothes. They're like pork ribs. They don't look good at all. Malay asked sneakily, is the young master the best in comparison? It's just SOSO. Tang Bao raised his little head and said indifferently, how is that average? His body must be full of sexy muscles. Even if he's wearing clothes, women will scream when they see him. Tang Bao's expression changed, and he stopped Malay. Don't talk about him. Okay. Let's not talk about him. Your male models are here. Tang Bao looked at the new batch of male models. They were indeed better than the first batch. However, if she really wanted to compare them with Di Hao Ian, she didn't have to be picky. She would definitely go home disappointed. Di Hao Ian's figure was good-looking. It was strong and firm. Every part of him was so sexy and full of wild power. No, change another batch. Tang Bao was not satisfied. Then, the male models went out again. At this moment, Di Hao Ian was alone in the castle, smoking a cigarette. The smoke lingered with a deep charm. His dark eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the night outside the floor-to-ceiling window. The outline of his face became colder and harder in the darkness. However, his face was a little dark. It was obvious that he was in a bad mood. He was playing with the lighter in his other hand, and it made a clicking sound. It was rhythmic, like the beating of a heart. It made people panic. Young master, Hiju walked in. Did she drink? Di Hao Ian asked calmly. No, she's well-behaved. It's just that, although the young madam didn't drink, she's attracting men, Hiju finished. Di Hao Ian was stunned. the cigarette but almost burned him. His face suddenly darkened, and his voice was cold. What do you think she's doing? The young madam is attracting men, He said under pressure. Di Hao Ian's face was dark and frightening. Damn it, she really needs to be taught a lesson. When Di Hao Ian and the others arrived at the bar, Tang Bao was watching a male model pole dancing on the stage. This was the one she was slightly satisfied with after a long time. Wow, his waist is so strong. Wan Malay's eyes lit up as she stared at the male model's waist. I think his butt is good. It's perky, Tang Bao said. That's for sure. He came from a dancing background, so his figure must be good. Tang Bao thought to himself that he still couldn't compare to Di Hao Ian. But this dance was not bad. Halfway through the dance, the male model took off his clothes, revealing his naked upper body. It looked even more enchanting and attractive. Wow! Wan Malay clapped excitedly. Tang Bao laughed and stood up. Take off your pants if you dare. Wan Malay almost fell off the sofa, but Wan Malay didn't fall. When the door of the private room was violently kicked open, when she saw the menacing figure and the cold face, Tang Bao unfortunately fell off the sofa. The male model stopped dancing as well. Get out! Di Hao Ian's voice was fierce. His aura was strong and terrifying. The male model felt that something was wrong. Because of Di Hao Ian's unfriendly aura, he trembled in fear and hurriedly ran away. Wan Malay, who had been sitting there, also ran away when Di Hao Ian looked over. At this time, friends were not important. Life was more important. Suddenly, only Tang Bao and Di Hao Ian were left in the private room. Tang Bao was stunned by Di Hao Ian's violent aura. He trembled and said, What are you doing? I didn't drink. You were obedient and didn't drink. So you attracted men? Di Hao Ian's black eyes were almost burning. What attracted men? You're making it sound too bad. Tang Bao refused to admit it. Then what were you doing just now? Chapter 214. The dawn of life was right in front of her. She must work hard and be careful. When the distance was about right, Tang Bao tried her best to run to the door. However, she ignored Di Hao Ian's speed. His long arms directly grabbed her and lifted her up. Tang Bao felt dizzy and was thrown onto the sofa. Di Hao Ian's dark figure immediately pounced on her. The whole darkness covered Tang Bao's slender body. She was so frightened by Di Hao Ian's strength and fierceness that her eyes suddenly widened. You want to recruit? Did I not satisfy you? Di Hao Ian pulled her clothes. Her clothes could not bear the force, and with a rip, they tore. Di Hao Ian, you're crazy. Tang Bao pushed Di Hao Ian with her hands. However, Di Hao Ian was too strong. He only pushed her muscles, but she did not move at all. Di Hao Ian, what are you doing? Tang Bao struggled. However, she could not stop Di Hao Ian from doing what he wanted to do. What do you think I want to do? You need to be taught a lesson. Di Hao Ian scolded angrily. He tore off Tang Bao's clothes. This clothes has been touched by other men. Throw it away. She felt a chill in the air and was so scared that her whole body was tense. It was useless to be tense. Di Hao Ian slapped her. Di Hao Ian, you tyrant, the devil. Tang Bao shouted as she felt a burning pain in her body. Then I'll show you what a devil is. No. Tang Bao reached out and grabbed the sofa under her. She wanted to escape from Di Hao Ian's clutches. Baby, don't waste your energy. Without my permission, you can't run anywhere. Oh, Tang Bao trembled all over. She felt pain and numbness, like an electric current flowing through her body. Her face suddenly flushed red. Her pitiful little mouth was tightly clenched as she endured. Other people's figures are good. Does the baby think it's beautiful? Di Hao Ian's rough voice carried a dangerous hostility. Tang Bao's body stiffened. Di Hao Ian heard it? What? Are you disappointed to hear that? That's not what I meant. Tang Bao did not expect Di Hao Ian to overhear him. Wasn't he outside the door? Even if he was outside the door a second ago, there was still a door between them. How could his ears be so sharp? There are other meanings in it? Tell me. No more. Di Hao Ian, it hurts. Tang Bao frowned uncontrollably. It hurts now. Weren't you happy just now? The anger on Di Hao Ian's face began to change. There was a gloomy fluctuation in his vast and deep black eyes. There were surging emotions. How was I happy? I was just telling the truth. Other people's dancing is really good, and their bodies are really good. Tang Bao's tone changed. You're asking for it. Di Haotian's expression was cold and stern as he increased the strength of his hand. No. Tang Bao hoped that he would quickly take his hand out. She really could not stand it and felt very uncomfortable. Di Haotian's black eyes were slightly stunned, and his hand movements also stopped. Tang Bao let out a panicked breath. She thought to herself that if she had known that this would work, she would have said it just now. She would not have felt so uncomfortable until now. However, she did not see the evil smile on Di Haotian's face. She picked up the cup on the coffee table and smashed it at Di Haotian's head. However, her wrist was caught by the iron chain. It only took a little bit of strength to control Tang Bao. Di Haotian's black eyes flashed with a teasing light. Baby, this is the 4th time. Do you still want to smash it? He asked. What did you say? Say it again. Tang Bao's eyes shone fiercely. She bared her sharp teeth and bit down hard on Di Haotian's finger. Di Haotian grunted. Little wolf dog. Tang Bao thought angrily. If it's really a little wolf dog, I'll bite off your finger directly. Why are you so nervous? Di Haotian's words were extremely evil. His expression did not change, as if this was not a big deal. However, to Tang Bao, it shocked her out of her wits. Di Haotian wanted to let her eat his? This person was crazy. Did he think that she would eat it? Do you want to rest here for a while? Tang Bao's face was red, but so were her eyes. This was because she thought about it. Would Di Haotian also say the same thing to Xiao Rui? Would he come back for her after he was done with Xiao Rui? The more she thought about it, the more she felt that it was possible. The more she thought about it, the more uncomfortable she felt. Crystal clear water droplets gathered in her large black and white eyes. Chapter 2:15. Di Haotian thought that Tang Bao was probably crying because she was too conservative. I don't want to do that kind of thing with you. Go find someone else. Tang Bao pushed Di Haotian hard. Without any push, she struggled to get off the sofa and stood up to leave the private room. Bao. Di Haotian frowned slightly. Did he really make her angry? Damn it. Shouldn't he be the one who should be angry? She came here to look for a prostitute. How could she be so unreasonable? Tang Bao ignored Di Haotian and pretended that she did not hear him calling her. She walked straight out. She saw Di Haotian's black luxury car. Tang Bao got angry when she saw it. She turned around and walked away. However, before she could take 2 steps, Di Haotian's long arms wrapped around her. Let go of me. I don't want to sit in your car. Tang Bao struggled. Di Haotian ignored her struggle and forcefully brought her into the car. Once she got into the car, Tang Bao would definitely not be able to escape. Of course, even if she did not get into the car, she would not be able to leave. Tang Bao bit her lip and angrily turned her face to the car window to look at the night sky outside. Anyway, she did not look at Di Haotian. Di Haotian saw that she was so angry that she did not even look at him. He directly pulled her over to sit on his lap. What are you doing? Can't you just let me sit there properly? Tang Bao asked angrily. No, even if you don't like it, I ate what was in your mouth just now. What's there to be angry about? Besides, if we really do it in the future, it will be much more excessive than this, Di Haotian said. Tang Bao turned to look at Di Haotian in shock and astonishment. She could not come back to her senses. From what he said, what he did just now was just a piece of cake. Di Haotian, tell me honestly, how many women have you had in the past? Tang Bao felt that Di Haotian must have had a lot of women. Otherwise, how could he know so much? Don't have too many tricks up your sleeve. A strange look flashed across Di Haotian's dark eyes. A few. How many is how many? 2 is a few. 9 is also a few. 2. Tang Bao thought, so little. Other than Xiao Rui, there was only one other person. I don't believe that you only have 2. Then how many do you think I have? Di Haotian stared at her and asked. 9. Why are there so many? You know everything. You have so many tricks up your sleeves. If you didn't make friends with so many women, how could you know so much? Tang Bao was furious. Thinking about how Di Hao Yin had been with so many women, the knot in her heart could not be eased. Di Hao Yin smacked his lips in annoyance and said, "Do I still need to learn this kind of thing?" "Don't you need to learn?" Tang Bao was shocked. "Don't you know this kind of thing, even though you don't have any experience?" That's different." Di Hao Yin held her waist and bit her little earlobe. He said in a low and husky voice, "All my experience is used to make you happy. Don't always bite my ear." Tang Bao felt a wave of numbness that made her dodge. "Are you still angry?" Di Hao Yin asked dotingly. "Angry? Because of what?" "You have had women, but I don't have a single man. It's not fair." Tang Bao was still angry. These words were like touching Di Hao Yin's reverse scale. His expression suddenly changed, and he said coldly, "How many men do you want?" Tang Bao was shocked by the dangerous aura around him. Her little mouth moved, but she did not say anything. Instead, she got down from Di Hao Yin's body and sat in the seat furthest away from him. Di Hao Yin's expression became even colder and gloomier. She was starting to look into his past and was taking advantage of him. Tang Bao shrank back by the car door and began to think about it. Why could Di Hao Yin clearly remember the two women he had only had sex with in the past? Did those two women leave a deep impression on him? Was that why he couldn't forget them? Then who was the other woman? It turned out that he did not only have Xiao Rui, but also another Xiao Rui. Dealing with Xiao Rui was already a headache for her, but now she had to deal with another one. Would she appear again and arrogantly ask her to divorce Di Hao Yin? Tang Bao's anger could not be quelled. Now Di Hao Yin was entangled with Xiao Rui. If there was another one, she could forget about living well for the rest of her life. Should she still marry Di Junbai? At least he did not have a single woman. How happy would it be to live a stable life? Di Hao Yin still dared to give her a hard time. He was not repentant at all. He was domineering and dictatorial. The atmosphere in the car was low all the way. When they arrived at the castle, Tang Bao got out of the car and looked terrible all the way. After walking into the hall, she did not go upstairs. Instead, she sat down on the sofa in the hall. She looked at Di Hao Yin coldly and arrogantly as he walked to the stairs, ignoring her. Tang Bao grabbed a cushion and was about to throw it at him. However, Di Hao Yin seemed to have eyes on the back of his head. He warned her coldly, "Try and smash it." Tang Bao's hand froze, but she did not throw the cushion. She threw on the sofa angrily. She thought to herself, "It's not that I don't dare to throw it at you, but if I want to throw it, I'll knock you out." After Di Hao Yin went upstairs, Tang Bao sat on the sofa and watched TV. She decided that she would be at odds with Di Hao Yin. "I'm hungry. I want to eat." Tang Bao shouted toward the ceiling of the castle. Zhongli walked over. "Young madam, what do you want to eat?" "I want to eat assorted noodles." Tang Bao did not eat much at night. She was so angry that she could not eat. She thought that she would be in a better mood after running to the bar to find a male model. She did not expect that not only did she not feel better, but the discomfort in her heart became even worse. She could not believe that Di Hao Yin was such a person. But how could she explain those photos? Di Hao Yin even lied to her that he had something to deal with. How could she believe it? "Young madam? Young madam?" Tang Bao came back to her senses and saw Zhongli standing in front of her. Are you okay?" Zhongli asked worriedly. "I'm fine. What's wrong?" "The assorted noodles are ready. Do you want to eat in the restaurant?" Zhongli asked. "Let's eat here. I'll choose a good horror movie and watch it while we eat." Zhongli was speechless. "What? It's okay. I'll bring it to you now." Zhongli turned around and left. After a while, he brought the assorted noodles to her. It was placed on the coffee table in front of her. Zhongli said, "The coffee table is a little low. Is it convenient to eat? Do you want me to get someone to change the table?" "No need. I'll sit on the carpet." Tang Bao sat down on the soft carpet and crossed her legs. She sniffed the assorted noodles. "Wow, it smells so good. It makes me hungrier." Zhongli smiled and turned to leave. Tang Bao stopped him. "Do you have anything else to do?" "No." "Then watch a horror movie with me." Chapter 216. Every time she was on duty at night, because the castle was too big, she would be afraid and would always call another servant to accompany her. But she didn't expect that Tang Bao would invite her to watch a horror movie together. Just these words alone were enough to provoke her. What's wrong? Is there a problem? Are you afraid? Tang Bao thought of this possibility and asked, No, I'm not afraid of horror movies. They're all fake. What's there to be afraid of? Zhongli heard herself say this. She couldn't stop her mouth from saying things that went against her heart. Really? I also like to watch horror movies. It seems that we have the same hobby. Then in the future, I'll ask you to watch horror movies together. Tang Bao said happily. Exclamation point. Zhang Li's shadow in her heart expanded infinitely. Was she looking for trouble for herself? Couldn't she just refuse? But seeing Tang Bao's happy expression, she couldn't refuse. She could only stand there and watch with her. Don't stand there. Sit on the sofa next to me and watch. Tang Bao said, No, I'll just stand here and watch. Zhang Li quickly refused. She had never sat on the sofa before. This was not a place for a servant like her to sit on. The movie is 1 or 2 hours long. Aren't you tired standing? Sit on the sofa and come here. Tang Bao frowned and said, No, I'm really fine standing. Usually, our work hours are much longer than this. It's okay. Zhang Li still refused. Are you afraid to sit? Tang Bao asked. Zhang Li didn't say anything, but her expression said it all. She remembered that the young madam was good to her, but she couldn't really ignore her status and sit on the sofa. That would be too untactful. If I say you can sit, then you can sit. Don't tell me that my words don't count in the castle. Can't it be of any use? Tang Bao asked gloomily. Of course not. Zhang Li felt the change in Tang Bao's mood and hurriedly said, I'll talk to the supervisor and then come back. With that, Zhang Li ran to find Lian. Tang Bao sucked on the noodles, but before he could take 2 breaths, Zhang Li came over and sat down on the sofa. Tang Bao said, I'm thinking that if Lian doesn't agree, I'll go and settle the score. It's starting. Then the two began watching the horror movie. One was watching quietly, while the other was sucking the noodles while watching. Both of them were eating with relish. In the movie, a woman walked into a dark room with only a candle in her hand. The candle flickered weakly. It was as if they were being driven by a sinister wind. The atmosphere was very strange. Then, in the next second, the candlelight went out, and the room was plunged into darkness. Zhang Li was so nervous that he wanted to turn his eyes away. But he heard Tang Bao say disdainfully, It's just child's play. It's obvious that someone is playing tricks behind the scenes. Young madam, have you seen it? Zhang Li asked. No, I guessed. Sure enough, not long after Tang Bao spoke. In the movie, another black shadow pounced on the nervous girl and laughed in the face of such a prank. How was it? I told you, right? Tang Bao said. Yes. Zhang Li felt sweat on his forehead. He suddenly felt that he was old and could not be compared to the young girls. His heart could not bear it. Why were the young girls nowadays so bold? When Di Hao Yin came out of the shower, Tang Bao had not returned to the room yet. Walking out of the room, the tall and stalwart figure stood silently by the guardrail. His long and narrow eyes were fixed on Tang Bao, who was eating noodles and watching TV in the hall. From time to time, he would make a few comments. She was in a good mood. Di Hao Yin's expression became even more unsightly. Tang Bao was watching a movie when he saw Di Hao Yin coming down the stairs from the corner of his eye. He did not come to the hall, but went straight to the study. Then he heard the sound of the study door closing. TSK. Tang Bao curled his lips. Zhang Li had already stood aside when he saw Di Hao Yin's figure. He was scared out of his wits. Tang Bao said in confusion, I haven't finished watching it yet. Sit down. There's not much time left. I'll just stand and watch, okay? Zhang Li did not have the guts. Tang Bao did not insist and let her be. After more than an hour, the movie was finished and the noodles had long been eaten. Tang Bao had no intention of going up to the room and continued to look for the movie. Zhang Li asked, Young madam, it's already very late. Do you want to go upstairs and rest? Could she not tell? The young madam was angry with the young emperor. He could not let the young madam continue to watch here. It's still early, Tang Bao said without looking at the time. It's not early anymore. It's almost 10 o'clock, Zhang Li said. But I'm not sleepy. I still want to watch a movie. I'll go to sleep after watching it. Zhongli thought to himself, wouldn't it be 12 o'clock to watch another movie? You go do your thing. I'll go to sleep after watching it, Tang Bao said. Zhongli left the hall worriedly and went to find Lian. Young madam has been watching movies in the hall. What if she doesn't go upstairs to sleep? Where's the young emperor? Lian asked. In the study. The two of them seemed to be in a cold war. Zhongli said in a low voice. We can't interfere in this kind of thing. Don't worry about this. Young madam won't be at a disadvantage, Lian said calmly. Okay. Zhongli obviously knew how much the young emperor doted on and protected the young madam. Just like the last time the young madam was called to the bungalow to do manual labor by the old madam, she lost a lot of weight because of it. The young emperor's anger was still fresh in her memory. So how could he bear to let the young madam stay up late? When Zhongli went to the hall after a long time, she found that Tang Bao had already fallen asleep on the sofa with his head tilted. Just as she was about to call Tang Bao to go upstairs to sleep, she saw Di Hao Ian walking out of the study. He walked straight to Tang Bao, then carried Tang Bao back to the room. Zhongli felt sweet in her heart. She suddenly felt that she should persuade the young madam not to be angry with the young emperor. The young emperor was so good to her. How could she bear to be angry? When Tang Bao woke up in the morning, he found himself sleeping on the big bed in the bedroom. What was going on? Why did she go back to her room? Did she walk back by herself? That didn't seem right. She remembered that she was a little sleepy when she was watching the movie yesterday, so she closed her eyes. So Di Hao Ian carried her back? When she saw that she was naked without a single piece of gauze, she was sure that it was Di Hao Ian. Only he would do such a thing. Who knew how many times he would only take off her clothes but not let her wear them? He said that it was troublesome to put on her clothes. Since it was troublesome, why would he take them off for her? He was clearly overbearing and unreasonable. It was the nature of a devil. Chapter 217. There seemed to be no movement anywhere else in the room. Well, she didn't care where he was. She was angry now, very angry. It was better if he wasn't here. Tang Bao looked at the pillow next to her. The top of the pillow was flat, which meant that Di Hao Ian had been up for a long time. The more Tang Bao looked at the pillow, the angrier she became. So she stretched out her 2 feet and rubbed it hard. She wanted to rub the pillow until it smelled like her feet. She wanted Di Hao Ian to smell her smelly feet when he slept at night. After rubbing, she sniffed the pillow. There was no smell of stinky feet, only the smell of Di Hao Ian's shampoo. Thus, she continued to rub against him until her feet turned red before she stopped. Just as she was about to smell it, she saw Di Hao Ian walk in. She was so scared that she instinctively hugged the pillow and buried her face in it, pretending to sleep. However, 3 seconds later, she felt that something was wrong. The pillow she was hugging wasn't hers, but Di Hao Ian's. She was sleeping on Di Hao Ian's side. So she quietly got out of bed and went to the cloakroom to get dressed. Then she washed up and left the room. From beginning to end, she didn't look at Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian didn't do anything. His face was expressionless, but he felt that this little thing was really cute and interesting. After Tang Bao left the room, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. After walking out of the room, Tang Bao's face instantly turned red. She hugged her face with her 2 small hands, trying to cool down the heat on her face. She found that it was really hot. Oh my God, why was she hugging Di Hao Ian's pillow? She even used her nose to smell it. It was so embarrassing. He even caught her in the act. What would Di Hao Ian think? Would he think that she was a pervert? Even if she knew that Di Hao Ian was much more perverted than her, she couldn't let go of her behavior. It was so embarrassing. Tang Bao went downstairs. Before she entered the dining room, Zhongli actively approached her. Young madam, what? I have something to tell you. Go ahead. What was so serious? Young master came downstairs early and then went into the kitchen to make young madam's favorite cake. Tang Bao's expression. Her heart seemed to be hit by something, and then it melted directly. No wonder she didn't see Di Hao Ian when she woke up today, because when she opened her eyes in the past, Di Hao Ian was in his arms. So he woke up so early to bake a cake for her. Tang Bao had said that if she got angry, he would make her a cake. She thought that Di Hao Ian was going to give her the cold shoulder, but he actually made a cake. So, on account of the fact that young Master D made a cake for you, young madam, don't be angry. Zhongli was also afraid that Tang Baojin would offend Di Hao Ian. Who would dare to offend such an inviolable status? Only Tang Bao could do that. Newborn calves aren't afraid of tigers. Young madam, go and take a look. You won't be angry when you see the cake. Tang Bao walked into the dining room. There was a cake on the table. When she saw the cake, Tang Bao's heart was as sweet as the cake. It was always touching when something unexpected happened. However, when she saw the wolf dog pattern on the cake, Tang Bao's face suddenly darkened. This person did it on purpose. He didn't forget to draw a wolf dog to compare her to the cake. Tang Bao stretched out her slender white fingers and was about to erase the little wolf dog when her wrist was grabbed. Then, her slender waist was buckled, and a broad chest wrapped around her from behind. It was so tight that she had nowhere to run. You, let go of me. Tang Bao's face was slightly hot. Are you still angry? Di Hao Ian lowered his head and leaned his thin lips against Tang Bao's ear. His voice was low and hoarse. Tang Bao bit her lip. Did she say she was still angry? But she had said before that if she was angry, she could just make a cake. If she was still angry, wouldn't she seem very petty? But in the face of what Di Hao Ian did, it would be a problem if she was generous. I'm hungry. I want to eat breakfast. You don't want to eat cake? I don't want to. Have a bite. I don't want to. Di Hao Ian's voice deepened. If you don't want to, I'll force feed you. Demon. After cursing in her heart, Di Hao Ian scooped a spoonful of cake and brought it to his mouth. Tang Bao didn't understand. Why could Di Hao Ian spend time and effort on her while having an ambiguous relationship with Xiao Rui? She stared at the cake in front of her for a moment before opening her mouth and eating the cake. It was sweet and delicious. Just as Zhongli said, she liked it. Di Hao Ian always knew her weakness. When they were at the company, Wan Malay immediately rushed over when he saw her. He looked up and down to see if Tang Bao was missing an arm or a leg. What are you looking at? Tang Bao frowned. I'm looking to see if you're as good as new. Why do you want to see if I'm as good as new? Do you think I'll get hurt? Tang Bao said arrogantly. The situation last night was so dangerous. It's normal for me to be worried about you. Worried? I think you're running faster than a rabbit. Tang Bao thought of Wan Malay, that disloyal guy, and suddenly became angry. This is your family matter. It's not good for me to be there. Don't you think so? You shouldn't have looked for a male model. Otherwise, why would young master be so angry? Why would he be angry? He could just have his stupid Xiao Rui. Why would he care if I looked for a male model? Tang Bao couldn't calm down when he thought of Xiao Rui, that third party. Even after a night, even after eating cake. You don't understand a man's mentality. No matter how he plays outside, the one at home must be loyal to him. So, you also think that Di Hao Ian is such a person. I didn't say that. You said it just now. I heard it clearly. Tang Bao said. Wan Malay felt that the problem was back to yesterday. This problem hadn't been solved yet. Although the problem hadn't been solved, she couldn't encourage Tang Bao. The problem was getting bigger and bigger. So she comforted him. Actually, I think that young master must have something to deal with when he went to look for Xiao Rui. Look at how much he cares about you. He appeared not long after you went to the bar. If he didn't care, he wouldn't have gone so quickly, right? After Wan Malay finished speaking, she realized that Tang Bao had been staring at her. She didn't understand and asked, Why are you looking at me? I'm very strange. Strange about what? Why did Di Hao Ian come so quickly after I went to the bar? Wan Malay, did you secretly tell Di Hao Ian? Tang Bao looked at her sharply. Wan Malay said in disbelief, Heaven and earth can be my witness. How could I do such a thing? Chapter 218. Tang Bao analyzed. Does he need the young master to follow him? He can get the bodyguards to follow him. Then the young master will come. Tang Bao thought about it and felt that it was possible. When Di Hao Ian was not around, He Ju followed him. Could it be that He Ju is following him? Tang Bao rubbed his chin and thought. It must be him. Wan Malay said without a doubt. Why? Have you forgotten? Last time, he had thrown me off halfway. If it was someone else, would they do that? Definitely not. So, there's nothing he won't do. Juan Malay was also a person who held grudges. From that time onwards, she remembered he Jew. Tang Bao thought, "Are you sure you're not blaming him for this because you hold a grudge?" But thinking about it, this was more likely. Tang Bao was in a daze. He stood up, opened the office door, and peeked outside. "What are you looking at?" "I'm seeing if he Jew is outside." "Don't look. You can't see even if he is. Besides, he probably won't appear in the company. You didn't do anything." Tang Bao retracted his head. Juan Malay's words were wrong. To be precise, if Di Hao Yin wanted to do something, she wouldn't be able to see it. "If that's the case, you won't be able to go to the orphanage to do voluntary work in the afternoon, right?" Juan Malay said. "What voluntary work? Didn't you see the chat messages?" "No." Tang Bao opened her chat software. There was no choice. She didn't set the messages in the classmate group. Tang Bao saw a lot of chat messages and couldn't be bothered to look at them. He said to Juan Malay, "Just tell me directly. It's organized by the school. Although we're in the company now, we're still students. It's not a bad idea to participate in this activity if there's nothing going on. If you don't go, I can go alone, so I have to take half a day off from you." Juan Malay said, "I'll go too." The two of them went to the designated orphanage in the afternoon. The other students came one after another. When he saw Tang Bao and Juan Malay, he greeted them. "Aya, I haven't seen you two in school for a long time. What can I get rich?" said one. "I heard you guys are working at tea, right?" the other one asked. Juan Malay said, No, it's just a small company. What's there to be modest about? We don't need you to introduce us, so there's no need to hide it," a classmate said. Tang Bao looked over. She really couldn't listen to everything that was said. "That's right, Malay Tang Bao, tell us. Is it good working in tea?" "I already said that I'm not in tea. What else can I say?" Juan Malay said with his head bowed. "Malay, that's not very nice of you. After all, we used to play together. I already said that I won't let you introduce me to any jobs." "Tang Bao, don't you think so?" Tang Bao's eyelids twitched, and he said, "You haven't entered society yet, so how can you be like those white-collar workers who were fired from our company?" Juan Malay was happy and proud. They couldn't say anything good about him. "All right, go do what you're supposed to do," Tang Bao said. A few of them could not keep their faces straight and turned to leave. 3 or 4 of them said, "Don't stoop to their level, they're just jealous." "Yes, when we were in school, they already talked about it. Everyone in school knows that you guys are working at tea." Tang Bao said, "I'm not working at tea. It's just that my father left me a company after he passed away. I'm managing it now." Juan Malay thought to himself, "I'm convinced by your words. Tang Bao, you're boss now. Tang Bao, your family is so rich. Why do you want to come to our school to study?" Tang Bao asked, "Isn't this school good? It's giving me so much happiness." "You can't say that. Compared to other schools, we can't compare. If that's the case, is Malay also working at your company?" "Yes." Tang Bao did not hide it. What was there to hide? Then Tang Bao, "Can we work at your company? It's good that the salary is low. Can you give us an internship opportunity?" A classmate volunteered. "The company is not hiring now," Tang Bao said. "You're the boss, so you have the final say." The classmate giggled. Tang Bao thought helplessly, if only I could make that decision. Zhou Jishan was the one who checked who came into the company. To be exact, Di Hao Yin was the one who controlled the company. She was the one who controlled the company. If Tang Bao wanted her to go east, she had to go east. If he wanted her to go west, she had to go west. To put it exaggeratedly, even if a lost dog came into the company, Di Hao Yin would strictly check it. So, if he wanted her to shove someone in, forget it. But Tang Bao couldn't say that he was a puppet boss, right? How embarrassing would that be? How embarrassing would that be? She said, "I'll take a look when the time comes. If there are any vacancies, I'll call you and you can go for an interview." "How about that? You have to know that I'm not the only one who has the final say in the company. There are still shareholders. You can't afford to offend any of them." "Thank you so much." "You're welcome. You're welcome. We're classmates after all." After those classmates left, Juan Malay said, "Are you really going to take them in?" I said, "We can interview. We'll go through the normal procedure. Do you still expect to go through the back door?" "I agree, but does Zhou Jishan agree? Does Di Hao Yin agree?" Zhou Jishan is so awesome now. He's as smart as a ghost. What about the young master? Wan Malay was curious. Like a god. Wan Malay was silent. All right, a god was the most powerful. However, Bao Bao, I didn't expect the young master to be so powerful in your heart. Tang Bao was speechless. After everyone arrived, they were assigned tasks. Tang Bao and Wan Malay were responsible for drawing on the walls. Tang Bao looked at the cute children jumping around and playing. He sighed and said, "These children are so cute and healthy. Why were they abandoned by their parents? There are many of them. There are all kinds of reasons. Have you forgotten? When we were in our first year of university, there was a girl who got pregnant. After giving birth in the toilet, she was directly thrown at the entrance of the orphanage. If she hadn't gone to class after giving birth and caused a hemorrhage, who would have known that she had given birth? There are also those who only want to have a moment of pleasure but don't plan for the future. The sudden arrival of a child is like a hot potato. They already have a conscience not to throw it into the trash can." Tang Bao was silent. People like them were so happy. They were born with parents who doted on them. Tang Bao felt that he was especially insensible at that time. He quarreled with Tang Qishan all day long. Then who's here? Tang Bao, who was in a daze, was brought back to his senses by Wan Malay's words. He raised his head and followed Wan Malay's gaze to the entrance of the orphanage. Chapter 219. She wasn't familiar with the car in front, but she knew the one behind. It was Di Junbai. Then, the person in front got out of the car. It was Di Lingwei. Tang Bao was puzzled. Why were they here? Then, he saw the director coming out to welcome them. Tang Bao thought that he was the boss of a company after all. He didn't even receive such treatment. CEO D, you're here? You're so kind. You're the lucky star of these children. The director said excitedly. Wan Malay asked softly, "You didn't know that they would come?" A classmate immediately said, "Don't you know? They're from a D family. I think they do charity work at the orphanages every year. I didn't expect it to be today. It's such a coincidence that we met them." "Ah, who is that from the D family? He's so handsome. He's like Prince Charming." Tang Bao looked at Di Junbai. "He used to be my Prince Charming too." Wan Malay whispered in Tang Bao's ear, "It seems that they're quite kind. So we've wronged them? They're so nice to other people's children, let alone their own nephew." Tang Bao also felt that it was strange. What kind of person was Di Lingwei? Perhaps he was doing such charity work to cover it up? Whether it was a cover or not, these children had benefited. This made people look at him in a new light. Actually, Tang Bao didn't want Di Lingwei to do anything to Di Haoyan. What's so good about family members becoming enemies? But would Di Haoyan be wrong? Or was she wrong? Di Lingwei and the others brought a lot of things and gave them all to the children. The children were overjoyed. They felt that it was a gift from the heavens. After that, Di Lingwei and Di Junbai walked into the orphanage. After taking 2 steps, Di Junbai suddenly looked back and smiled at Tang Bao. That smile stunned Tang Bao. It was as if he was lost. Tang Bao seemed to have returned to the first time they met. Di Junbai's smile was so warm. The children called him Big Brother and followed him. Perhaps they were attracted by the warmth of his body. "Come back to your senses." Wan Malay waved his hand in front of Tang Bao. Tang Bao came back to his senses. "What are you doing? His soul is gone. Can't I summon his soul?" "You're the one who has lost your soul," Tang Bao retorted. "Am I wrong? Look at how you looked when you saw Di Junbai. If the young emperor sees you, you'll be in trouble," Wan Malay said. Although she did not have many opportunities to interact with Di Haoyan, judging from the way the Tang Bao and Di Haoyan usually interacted with each other, it was not an ordinary kind of domineering. Tang Bao was at a complete disadvantage. He was like a fish on the beach, struggling for his life. "Yes. What do you mean? I'm just reminding you out of kindness. Don't say that I'm heartless and don't care about her. I can't bear the consequences of telling on a young emperor." Tang Bao did not say anything. He directly smeared the dye on his finger on Wan Malay's face. "Ah. What are you doing? I won't let you off." Wan Malay directly took a large lump of paint on her finger and was about to smear it on Tang Bao's face. Tang Bao turned around and ran. He was running as fast as lightning. Tang Bao, don't run if you have the guts. While Malay chased after him. I don't have the guts. Tang Bao ran without looking back. Soon he was out of sight. Wan Malay was so angry that she screamed. When she saw the lump of paint on her finger, her face became ferocious. Tang Bao looked back. There was no sign of Wan Malay chasing after him. He knew that she could not catch up to him. He felt smug. However, just as he was feeling smug, he suddenly bumped into someone. I'm sorry, Brother Junbai. Tang Bao was stunned when she saw that the person she bumped into was Di Junbai. Di Junbai laughed. You're running so fast. Aren't you afraid of falling? I'm an adult. I don't know how to fall. Because you don't have a guts? Tang Bao was slightly stunned. When she understood what Di Junbai meant, she immediately blushed. How did Di Junbai hear it? It was so awkward. Di Junbai looked at her blushing face and could not help but chuckle. He looked at her gently. Tang Bao felt that if the two of them did not talk anymore, she would have to find a place to hide. She said, Brother Junbai, I didn't expect you and second uncle to be doing charity at the orphanage. I heard from others that you come here every year, right? I didn't expect to meet you here today. Yes, we come here every year. I didn't expect to meet you here either. The school informed me at the last minute. I didn't have much to do, so I came here. This is charity. Everyone should do it. In my heart, you've always been a kind girl, Di Junbai said emotionally. Tang Bao blushed a little and said, Brother Junbai, you're the same. Tang Bao didn't know how to resist when being praised by others. How are you and my brother? Di Junbai asked. We're fine. Tang Bao smiled. It seemed that Di Junbai would ask her this question almost every time, as if she was not fine. He was worried about her. They used to be good friends when he had a crush on her. As for why she married Di Haoyan, Di Junbai never asked, and Tang Bao did not tell him either. It seemed that the two of them had a tacit understanding not to ask and avoided the topic. So, they were left with a simple question like, how are you and my brother? I haven't had the chance to ask you about what happened at the castle last time. After I left, my brother didn't get angry, did he? Why do you ask? I remember that my brother didn't look very good. No, he was born with that expression. It has nothing to do with you. Besides, it's been so long. We've long forgotten about it. So, Brother Junbai, you shouldn't take it to heart. It's a small matter, Tang Bao said generously. This matter had nothing to do with Di Junbai in the first place. It was all because Di Haoyan was too domineering and unreasonable. He was a great demon. Di Junbai looked at Tang Bao for a long time and asked, Tang Bao, do you like my brother a lot? Why? Why are you suddenly asking this question? It was so awkward. I'm just asking. I want to know if you're happy. Di Junbai did not look uncomfortable at all. He was quite calm. So, Tang Bao did not avoid the question and said, Isn't this how a married couple should be? What's there to like or not like? It's to live a good life. Why did Tang Bao feel like it was a middle-aged woman when he said this? Di Junbai smiled and did not say anything. His gentle eyes were filled with Tang Bao's figure. Why are you here? Xiao Jun has been looking for you. Di Lingwe walked over and was surprised when he saw Tang Bao. Tang Bao is here too. Hello, second uncle. Tang Bao immediately greeted him. Chapter 220. Yes. Di Lingwe said to Di Junbai, hurry up and go over. He must be looking for you everywhere. Then I'll go over first. I'll find you later. Di Junbai said to Tang Bao. Okay. Tang Bao smiled. After Di Junbai left, Tang Bao said to Di Lingwe, second uncle, if there's nothing else, I'll go over there and draw. I'm not done yet. No hurry. Second uncle has something to talk to you about. Tang Bao thought to himself, what can I talk to you about? I heard that Hao Ian's health hasn't been good these few months. Di Lingwe said. Tang Bao felt uncomfortable when he heard this. What did he mean by his health hasn't been good? Di Hao Ian's health had always been good. Why did Di Lingwe's words sound like a curse? He's in good health. Second uncle's health is already so strong, let alone Di Hao Ian. If Di Hao Ian's health isn't good, then no one else's health is good. Tang Bao said coldly. He hinted that if Di Hao Ian's health wasn't good, he would have died long ago. However, Di Lingwe didn't seem to understand what she meant. He said, When I went to the castle last time, I saw that he didn't look good. I didn't ask him because he didn't look like he wanted to tell me. Actually, I already knew that he was shot. No matter how well he hid it, I would have known. Second uncle, how did you know? As if this has something to do with you? Tang Bao didn't admit or deny it. He asked as if he was joking. Di Lingwei let out a long sigh and said, "He is my only nephew. If I don't miss him, who will? I even know that he cut his hand to save you recently. Isn't that right?" Tang Bao didn't say anything, but he felt that every word that Di Lingwei said made him extremely shocked, and his heart was flustered. She had a feeling that Di Lingwei knew everything about Di Haoyan. Why? Why did he observe Di Haoyan's every move like that? Wasn't that terrifying? Does Di Haoyan know about Di Lingwei's thoughts? He should have known. If he didn't know, why did Di Haoyan guess that it was Di Lingwei when she was almost burned to death that day? Sure enough, the people in the rich and powerful families were full of schemes. Such a person actually had the nerve to come here to do charity? She felt that she had done too many bad things and was afraid of retribution, so she did it. I watched Haoyan grow up. Sometimes, he does things without thinking about the consequences. I don't even know how to tell him. I'm old, and I can't stand all that fighting and killing. As his wife, you should remind him from time to time. Di Lingwei's current expression was like that of an elder who was worried about a junior. Tang Bao really wanted to vomit when he saw this. He felt that Di Lingwei was an award-winning actor. I'm not a professional actor. Why are you acting with me? I can't act anymore. She knew very well what kind of person Di Haoyan was. Everyone who knew Di Haoyan knew that his methods were extremely ruthless and arrogant. However, it wasn't the sinister Di Lingwei's turn to teach him, right? Tang Bao humorously thought that maybe the Di family was all calculative and scheming like this. If they weren't the same type of people, they wouldn't be reincarnated into the same family. What are you thinking about? Di Lingwei asked when he saw that Tang Bao didn't speak for a long time. Nothing. I'm just thinking that ever since I married Di Haoyan, I didn't find anything wrong with him. He's also quite good to me. What does second uncle want me to remind him from time to time? Tang Bao raised his little face and asked innocently. Di Lingwei was silent for a while before he said, "Since you don't know anything, then forget it. My big brother died early. As his second uncle, I should teach him well on behalf of my big brother. This is my duty. Anyway, no matter what he does, I'll keep an eye on it." After he said that sincerely, he turned around and left. Tang Bao's sharp teeth ground against his lips. Did Di Lingwei arrange some spies around Di Haoyan? Otherwise, why would he say something like that? Just listening to it made one's hair stand on end. If he knew Di Haoyan's every move, wouldn't it be easy for him to hurt Di Haoyan if he wanted to? Tang Bao couldn't help but worry that Di Haoyan would be schemed against by Di Lingwei. How long had it been since he was shot? Tang Bao came back to her senses and looked at Di Junbai blankly. "Why are you standing here in a daze? Has my father left?" Di Junbai asked. "Yes, he just left." "Just left? You've been standing here talking the whole time?" Di Junbai frowned slightly. "Yes, we talked a lot. What's wrong? Is there a problem?" Tang Bao looked at Di Junbai's strange expression and asked. Di Junbai looked at Tang Bao and his expression froze. "Tang Bao, if you have something to say, just tell me. It's the same if you tell me." "Brother Junbai, I don't quite understand what you mean. Why did Di Junbai's expression suddenly become so serious? It seemed like he was trying to hide something." "You don't need to understand. You just need to know that I won't harm you. Even if you have something to say to my father in the future, you can only tell me, and then I'll pass it on to him. Understand?" Di Haoyan's expression was very serious. When Tang Bao left the orphanage, she was still thinking about what Di Junbai said to her. He made it sound so serious. It was as if he didn't want her to interact with Di Lingwei. Why? Could it be that Di Junbai knew what kind of person Di Lingwei was, so he wanted her to stay away and be careful? That must be it. Di Junbai wouldn't harm her. Di Lingwei was really too sinister. Even his own son had to be wary of him. "What are you doing? You've been silent since you left the orphanage." Wan Malay asked. "Nothing. I'm just thinking about those poor children." Tang Bao felt that what she was thinking about was a little dangerous, so she didn't tell Wan Malay. Thinking about how the fire almost implicated Wan Malay, she didn't want to talk about it. You're still thinking about it? You're so kind? Wan Malay couldn't believe it. What am I doing? If I'm not kind, will you be friends with me? Wan Malay despised her. This again. If she said that Tang Bao wasn't kind, then it meant that she wasn't kind either. Because of their different personalities, it was impossible to be friends. I can't imagine what it will be like if you have children in the future. Tang Bao was also curious. What will it be like? She thought that Wan Malay would imagine her great motherly love. Who knew? Chapter 2:21. Wan Malay imagined the scene and laughed mischievously. I have paint on my hand. Ah, what are you doing? Wan Malay instinctively ran away. After running a few steps, she realized that Tang Bao was teasing her. Who asked her to be teased twice by Tang Bao in the afternoon? The paint on her face was not the kind that could be washed off easily. It was really too hateful. Let's see if you can laugh at me again, Tang Bao said smugly. Humph, I'll see how you take care of the child in the future. Tang Bao imagined herself taking care of the child crying and peeing, which made her break down. She suddenly shuddered. She felt that she could not take care of herself. How could she take care of the child? I'm only 19 years old now. I won't think about having children, Tang Bao said. But you're a married woman now. You have to have children after you get married. You're the married woman. Tang Bao was unhappy when she heard this term. She ran and chased after Wan Malay. Just as the two of them were having fun, a figure jumped from the side and bumped into Tang Bao. Tang Bao, who was unprepared, fell to the ground. Her arms scraped the ground, and she groaned in pain. Seeing this, Wan Malay immediately went up and pushed the lunatic away. What's wrong with you? You bumped into someone. Then, she helped Tang Bao up and asked worriedly, Are you okay? Ouch! Tang Bao gasped in pain when she bumped into her arm. When she looked again, she found that there was a cut on her arm by a stone, and blood was flowing out. Tang Bao really wanted to chop that person up. When she looked up, Tang Bao was shocked. Wan Malay was also shocked. If it was at night, wouldn't it scare people to death? She saw that this person's face was disfigured. It was so ugly that it seemed to have been burned with something. If it were not for her figure, one would not be able to tell that she was a woman. It's fine if I say that you're ugly, but it's wrong of you to come out and scare people, Tang Bao suggested. Tang Bao, I can't wait to kill you. The disfigured woman's voice was filled with anger and despair. Why does this voice sound so familiar? Wan Malay asked. Tang Bao also felt that it was familiar, and she was sure that this voice was not the kind that would make her happy. More importantly, this person seemed to recognize her. She asked with uncertainty, Are you Xiao Rui? Wan Malay was stunned. No way. Doesn't Xiao Rui look like you? How did your face become like this? Tang Bao's question made Xiao Rui even more agitated. Are you disappointed that I'm still alive? It's all because of you that my face became like this. Me? What does that have to do with me? Tang Bao asked in confusion. Because it was done by Di Hao Ian. He ruined my face, so I'm going to kill you. Anyway, I have nothing now. Tang Bao saw Xiao Rui rushing towards her crazily. She immediately dodged and pulled Wan Malay, saying, Let's go. The two of them got on the bus and saw Xiao Rui still chasing after them crazily, until they couldn't see her anymore. Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao with lingering fear and asked softly, What's going on? Didn't you say that the young master was having dinner with her? How did her face get ruined while eating? I don't know. Tang Bao said that she didn't know, but she was very clear in her heart. Even Xiao Rui herself said that it was Di Hao Hian who ruined it. So, she came to take revenge on her. Then there was no doubt. The photo that Yu Lianlian took was real, but she wasn't looking for Xiao Rui to eat. She was going to make a move on Xiao Rui. Wan Malay also knew in her heart, but she didn't ask further. It was just that Tang Bao didn't understand why Di Hao Ian wanted to make a move on Xiao Rui. Did Xiao Rui do anything? The wound on Tang Bao's arm had to be treated. She didn't know if she needed a tetanus shot. After going to the hospital, fortunately, the wound wasn't deep. The doctor only disinfected it and put a Band-Aid on it. Tang Bao said, Malay, don't tell others that I was injured because Xiao Rue pushed me. You could just tell the young master if you don't want me to leak the news. I said that because I knew you would understand. Wan Malay, tell me, you hate her too. Why are you thinking about her at this time? Tang Bao had to think about it. She knew very well how ruthless Di Hao Ian was. She still didn't know why Di Hao Ian wanted to make a move on Xiao Rue. If this made things worse, would Xiao Rue still be alive? Forget it. Anyway, Xiao Rue only bumped into her because she was emotional. If her face was ruined like this, she might be even more devastated than her. At this moment, her phone rang. Tang Bao rummaged through her bag and took out her phone. The missed call was from Di Hao Ian. She was still angry in the morning, but now that she saw Di Hao Ian's call, she felt her hair stand on end. He was really extraordinarily ruthless. Xiao Rue's face was ruined. If she didn't speak, she wouldn't be able to recognize her. However, she didn't dare to not answer. Hello. Why did you take so long to answer the phone? He asked domineeringly. Tang Bao's face darkened. Wasn't it just a few seconds late? How did it become so long? Where? At the hospital. Tang Bao still told the truth. She had a sixth sense. Even if she didn't say it, Di Hao Ian might know. Are you not feeling well? Di Hao Ian's voice suddenly sank. No, I accidentally fell. And there's a cut on my arm. I'm here to relieve the inflammation. The doctor also said that it's fine. I just need to put a Band-Aid on the wound. When Tang Bao heard Di Hao Ian's voice, she instinctively explained in detail. Stay there and don't move. I'll pick you up. Before Tang Bao could refuse, she heard a beeping sound from the other end. She looked at the phone again. The call was over. Tang Bao was extremely depressed. He already said that it was a small wound. Why did he have to come over to pick it up? It wasn't like her leg was injured. She wouldn't go back. Young master is coming to pick you up? Wan Malay asked. How did you know? I guessed. Wan Malay didn't just look at Tang Bao's expression. She knew that if Di Hao Ian knew that Tang Bao was in the hospital, he would definitely come over. It had nothing to do with the size of the wound. If he wants to come over, he won't know which hospital I'm in, right? If he comes over like this, how can he find me? The young master is so resourceful. Can't he find you? Wan Malay picked up her bag and said, I'm leaving first. Let's go together. Let Di Hao Qian send you. No need. All right, I'm going to look at a house, Wan Malay said. What house? I'm not staying in the dormitory anymore, so I have to find a house. I found a house. I'm going to take a look. When I move, I'll ask you for help. You're not being courteous? Tang Bao was surprised. Of course. After Wan Malay said that, she turned around and left. Tang Bao waited for Di Hao Ian alone in the hospital. Soon, Di Hao Ian arrived. When he walked in front of her, the first thing he did was pull her arm to take a look. However, Tang Bao stared at Di Hao Ian. Chapter 222. She used to think that Di Hao Ian liked Xiao Rue, even if it was just a little. But now, it seemed that he didn't like her at all. It was so cruel that Xiao Rue was in so much pain that she wanted to die. Is the wound deep? Di Hao Ian's eyes were cold. It's not deep. If it's deep, why don't you get stitches? It's okay. It's just a small stone. Tang Bao pulled her arm back. She felt that Di Hao Ian was making a fuss over nothing. You fell down just walking? Di Hao Ian's dark eyes were frightening. I was fooling around with Wan Malay. I didn't look where I was going and fell down. After Tang Bao said that, she didn't know if Di Hao Ian believed her or not. But it was true that his complexion didn't improve. They got into the car and went to the castle. The car drove steadily on the road. Di Hao Ian sat in the black seat with his long legs crossed. He had a deep aura around him. Tang Bao felt that Di Hao Ian was a little strange. She didn't know if it was just her imagination or because she hadn't reconciled with Di Hao Ian yet. Where did you go in the afternoon? Tang Bao's heart skipped a beat. He was starting to interrogate her. Di Hao Ian was like a strict military officer who was interrogating his subordinate who had committed a crime. It was a really uncomfortable feeling. But Tang Bao couldn't pretend that she didn't hear it. Why are you still asking when you already know? Tang Bao lowered her head and muttered. She believed that Di Hao Ian knew everything. It was as simple as knowing which hospital she would be in. You were too quiet. I couldn't hear you, Di Hao Ian said. I said that I went to the orphanage to do voluntary work. The school organized it. Under Di Hao Ian's pressuring gaze, Tang Bao continued. Also, I met second uncle and Di Junbai, who were doing charity there. What a coincidence. Di Hao Ian sneered with a gloomy expression. Tang Bao was immediately on guard. I don't know either. One Malay was there too. She saw it too. Everyone in the orphanage saw it too. I was just one of them. Weren't you happy to see Di Junbai there? Di Hao Ian asked expressionlessly. No. How could I be happy? It's none of my business whether he goes or not, Tang Bao said. You've learned your lesson. You know how to answer without angering me. Of course I know. I remember the 3 obediences and 4 virtues very clearly, Tang Bao said with an ugly expression. Recite it for me, Di Hao Ian said devilishly. Tang Bao gritted his teeth. This person was really too much. She had already said that she remembered it clearly, so why did she have to recite it again? Is that necessary? Tang Bao asked. Or you can copy it 200 times as punishment, Di Hao Ian said with an iron fist. I'll recite it. Tang Bao had no choice but to recite the 3 obediences and 4 virtues under the devil's compulsion. After reciting it, Di Hao Ian did not continue to make things difficult for him. Tang Bao was glad that he had told the truth. Lying in front of Di Hao Ian was as scary as having a sharp knife on his neck. All right, how did you know I was in this hospital? Did you get someone to follow me? He Jew. Tang Bao had something to ask of him. No need. Why? Other than this hospital, I can't be anywhere else, Di Hao Ian said with certainty. Why can't it be somewhere else? There are so many hospitals in D City, Tang Bao said unhappily. Even if no one is following you, if I want to find you, you can't escape. You just have to remember this, Di Hao Ian said domineeringly. This point, Tang Bao really could not doubt. Di Hao Ian did have the ability to cover the sky with one hand. The more Tang Bao thought about it, the more pitiful he felt. Hence, he curled up and looked pitiful. Marrying such a powerful man. Di Hao Ian pulled Tang Bao over and sat him on his lap. What are you doing? I'm sitting here fine. Are you still angry? Tang Bao cursed in his heart. Am I still angry when I think about it? Aren't you afraid that I'll be even angrier when you question me with a cold face just now? Di Hao Ian's temper was too erratic and unpredictable. However, since Di Hao Ian gave her a way out, she would do it. Anyway, she knew that Di Hao Ian was not dating Xiao Rui, nor did he like Xiao Rui. I'm not angry anymore. Are you sure you're not angry anymore? Di Hao Ian asked again. Tang Bao pursed her lips in embarrassment and nodded. I'm not angry anymore. You're not angry anymore, but I'm still angry. Have you thought about how to coax me? Di Hao Ian asked lazily. The smile on Tang Bao's face froze. How are you angry? Didn't you make a cake for me this morning? If he was in the mood to make a cake, how could he still be angry? Tang Bao could not imagine making a cake when he was angry. Wasn't his mental fortitude too strong? These are 2 different things. How could they be 2 different things? Tang Bao felt that Di Hao Ian was deliberately playing with her. What if I don't? Then I'll go back and let you do the housework. You'll be exhausted. Tang Bao knew that Di Hao Ian would definitely do it. He was a great demon in this world. Tang Bao thought that it was just coaxing him. No matter how long it took, it would be over when they returned to the castle. So Tang Bao braced herself, lowered her eyes, and kissed Di Hao Ian's thin lips. When they touched, even if Tang Bao was mentally prepared, her face still turned red. Her heart beat faster. Don't be distracted. Di Hao Ian's sudden words made Tang Bao's face turn even redder, and her breathing became unstable. Especially Di Hao Ian's request. Tang Bao was so embarrassed that she had no choice but to continue. It was enough to just be on the surface. Why did he have so many requests? However, if Di Hao Ian did not calm down, she would be the unlucky one in the end. There might be more terrible things waiting for her. A little impatience spoils great plans. Bao Bao, are you distracted? Di Hao Ian's dangerous voice came. Tang Bao was speechless. If you, Di Hao Ian was about to say something. Tang Bao directly moved her body nimbly. She was caught off guard like Di Hao Ian in the past. Tang Bao's face was completely red. She closed her eyes and did not dare to look into Di Hao Ian's eyes. Di Hao Ian was surprised by Tang Bao's behavior, although it was just to stop her from talking. It was really interesting and cute. Tang Bao felt that it was really too tiring. She felt that she could not hold on any longer. Because she had been the one taking the initiative, Di Hao Ian did not even move. Chapter 2:23. She could not keep up with his aura at all. It was as if he wanted to make her disappear without a trace. Fortunately, his anger had subsided, right? Otherwise, he would not have taken the initiative. When the car stopped at the entrance of the castle, their clothes were a little dirty because they were in the orphanage. When they got out of the car, their clothes could be tidied up. However, the heat on their faces did not fade so easily. When they came into contact with the air outside, the heat dissipated a little. When they were eating at the dining table, Tang Bao thought of Xiao Rui's appearance today. She was still afraid of Di Hao Ian's methods. Moreover, it could be seen that Di Hao Ian did not care if the other party was a man or a woman. He was merciless. Did that mean that whether it was a woman outside or a wife at home, as long as they made a mistake, he would treat them cruelly? Di Hao Ian, Tang Bao said hesitantly. If one day I do something wrong, the kind that you can't accept, how will you treat me? Do you want to know? Di Hao Ian stared at her coldly. Yes. Tang Bao nodded vigorously. I will break your bones and drink your blood. Do you have to be so cruel? Tang Bao was stunned. Yes. Di Hao Ian's tone left no room for doubt. Tang Bao cursed in her heart. Why was Xiao Rui treated better than her? Why? Do you have a problem with that? Di Hao Ian asked. If I do something wrong, you could do something else to me. Why do you have to be so cruel? Tang Bao asked in confusion. Why did you only disfigure Xiao Rui, but I have to break her bones and drink her blood? Am I not better than Xiao Rui? She couldn't accept it. Di Hao Ian looked at her coldly. I'm already very kind. Kind my ass. Tang Bao thought fiercely. If this was kindness, then what about Xiao Rui? Gentle? Tang Bao poked the rice in her bowl with her chopsticks, wishing she could poke the bottom of the bowl. She deliberately let Di Hao Ian know how angry she was. Di Hao Ian looked at her pouting, an unhappy face. His dark eyes were tinged with a dangerous smile as he asked, What did you do wrong that I don't know about? Tang Bao was stunned and immediately retorted, I didn't do anything wrong. Why would you ask if you didn't do anything wrong? I'm just asking casually. Would you not know if I did something wrong? Tang Bao asked unhappily. Indeed, Di Hao Ian was very confident about this. Then can you not be so cruel to me? Since you didn't do anything wrong, you don't need to care about these things. That won't do. You can change it. No. Di Hao Ian lowered his head and continued eating. Tang Bao said angrily, Di Hao Ian, are you thinking of making a cake again? You want to eat? Di Hao Ian asked. Tang Bao laid his head on the dining table. He had no appetite at all. What did she want to eat? She just wanted to punish Di Hao Ian. Why was he so happy? Wasn't her punishment too light? Should she change it? But what should she change it to? Di Hao Ian tapped his fingers on the table and said, Finish eating. Tang Bao glared at Di Hao Ian. She was like an angry little wolf dog. Di Hao Ian's heart tightened when he saw this. I don't want to eat. Tang Bao was unhappy. You're not allowed to eat at night. Starve for a night. So be it. Tang Bao stood up and left. After returning to his room, Tang Bao played games. Not long after, Di Hao Ian returned to his room. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Ian, who was unbuttoning his shirt and walking to the cloakroom, and gritted his teeth. When he came out, Tang Bao's gaze moved and saw the gunshot wound on his abdomen. The wound was still very clear. Do you want to take a shower? Di Hao Ian asked. Who wants to take a shower with you? I want to play with my phone. Tang Bao looked away. Di Hao Ian did not say anything and turned to go into the bathroom. When Tang Bao saw the wound on Di Hao Ian's abdomen, it reminded her of what Di Lingwei said during the day and Di Junbai's reminder. She felt uncomfortable in her heart. Her heart constricted as if Di Hao Ian had been hurt by them again. It was very uncomfortable. She knew that Di Hao Ian was very powerful, but people would make mistakes. Otherwise, how could he have been shot last time? Tang Bao put down her phone and jumped out of bed. She pressed her face against the wall next to the bathroom and asked, Di Hao Ian, are you good at fighting? The door was open, so she could only hide by the side. Every time he took a shower, he did not close the door. He must be doing it on purpose. What? Di Hao Ian's low and hoarse voice seemed to come from the mist, clear and magnetic. The corner of Tang Bao's mouth twitched. Was there a difference in fighting? It must be a fight between men. What was going on in Di Hao Ian's mind all day? It's a win-win for me. Di Hao Ian's words came again. Tang Bao was annoyed. How? Do you want to try? With who? Tang Bao was stunned. You. Tang Bao seemed to understand what Di Hao Ian meant by fighting. Her face immediately turned red. I'm asking a serious question. Are you good at fighting? Yes. Tang Bao thought that if he was good, he would not be so easy to be plotted against, right? Then, who is better at fighting between you and Di Lingwei? Tang Bao went silent after asking. Why did he stop talking? Just as she was feeling strange, she felt a hot breath beside her face. She looked up and saw Di Hao Ian's body in front of her. His hot breath stained her face red. Tang Bao was shocked and quickly stood up straight, distancing herself from Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian's aura was even more dangerous. What? What did Di Lingwei say to you? Tang Bao felt that Di Hao Ian's vigilance was frighteningly high. She was just asking, was there a need to think so much? Nothing. That's what I thought. Why didn't you ask me to compete with someone else? Must it be him? Tang Bao felt that she should not have asked that. She was too naive. She thought that Di Hao Ian would not find out. Then who do you want to compete with? Di Junbai doesn't know how to fight, Tang Bao said. How do you know that he doesn't know how to fight? Di Hao Ian's aura was even more dangerous. I've known him for so long, but I've never seen him fight. Did she ask the wrong question again? Since you've never seen him, don't act as if you know him very well. Di Hao Ian's face darkened, as if he was very repulsed by Di Junbai. His aura became cold. Okay. Tang Bao bit her lips, stood up, and left. When she was about to go to the cloakroom, Di Hao Ian's voice came from behind. I brought the pajamas in. Tang Bao was slightly stunned. You took it. Don't tell me it's Di Junbai. Di Hao Ian shouted. Tang Bao's little heart trembled. What a petty man. Chapter 2:24. Tang Bao staggered and almost fell. How could you remember such a thing so clearly? Tang Bao turned around slowly and looked at Di Hao Ian. My period came. If it didn't come, do you think I would have let you go when I was washing up just now? Tang Bao froze at the door of the bathroom and did not move for a long time. So, she was on the verge of danger just now? Nothing had happened, but there was still a lingering fear in his heart. That is to say, when my period is over, you will do that to me? Tang Bao swallowed and asked, Are you very excited? Don't worry. Your husband will be gentle. I will never let you have any bad feelings. Gentle? Tang Bao found it hard to believe. Why didn't you be gentle when you tortured me? Do you think I am a 3-year-old child? Tang Bao felt that Di Hao Ian was being sarcastic. It would not bloom. She felt that it would definitely bloom. After entering the bathroom, Tang Bao pinched her calves with her 2 small hands and felt that her calves were really pitiful. Was there any way to slow down her menstruation? Unless she was pregnant. That seemed a little unrealistic. After Tang Bao came out of the shower, she saw Zhongli coming in with food. Tang Bao leaned over and saw that it was her favorite assorted noodles. The whole room was filled with the fragrance. It made her stomach rumble with hunger. Tang Bao thought that Di Hao Ian had asked Zhongli to make noodles for her. Just as she was feeling proud, she saw Di Hao Ian sit down at the table and start eating the noodles with chopsticks. Tang Bao was stunned. Wasn't it made for her? Wasn't it? Was it? But why did Di Hao Ian start eating silently? Tang Bao sat on the sofa angrily and watched Di Hao Ian eat very happily. It was as if he did not see her. He did not even ask if she wanted to eat and just ate by himself. This was too much. Tang Bao suddenly stood up and walked to Di Hao Ian's side. He asked unhappily, "Are these noodles for me?" "She made it for me," Di Hao Ian said without looking up. "When did you eat assorted noodles?" Tang Bao asked curiously. "It's the same now." "Then why are there two pairs of chopsticks?" "They took the wrong one," Di Hao Ian said matter-of-factly, without any flaws. Tang Bao was so angry that he gritted his teeth and asked, "Can you finish eating so much by yourself?" "I can finish it." "No, I want to eat too." Tang Bao wanted to snatch the bowl. Di Hao Ian refused to budge. "Aren't you not hungry?" "I'm hungry now." "Why didn't you eat when I asked you to?" "I don't care." The speechless Tang Bao threw caution to the wind for her sake. He picked up the chopsticks at the side, sat down, and started to stir the noodles in the bowl. "No, I want to eat." After saying that, he leaned his head over and stuffed the noodles into his mouth. He was almost like a bandit. However, he did not notice the deep smile in Di Hao Ian's eyes. These noodles were for Tang Bao. She would definitely be hungry at night. When Di Hao Ian saw that she was hungry, he would definitely compromise and let her eat. At Di Hao Ian's place, Tang Bao was not allowed to eat at night. It would affect her sleep and digestive system. Therefore, he ordered the kitchen to make her favorite noodles early in the morning. The little thing came over with a hook. Di Hao Ian put the chopsticks aside. Tang Bao still had noodles in his mouth. He asked, "Aren't you eating?" "I'm full." "Then I'll eat the rest." Tang Bao held the bowl in front of him. He held it with one hand and stuffed the noodles into his mouth with the other. It was like holding the whole world in her arms. She also had a guard against Di Hao Ian if he really did not eat the noodles and would not snatch it from her. Di Hao Ian sat there and watched her eat. Watching her eat, her little face flushed from heat, made him have the urge to bite it. Tang Bao did not care if Di Hao Ian was staring at her. Anyway, she only had eyes for the noodles now. After eating the noodles, she drank a few mouthfuls of soup. After drinking it, she slurped the remaining soup at the corner of her mouth. She looked satisfied. Di Hao Ian watched as the pink and tender little hand wiped the remaining soup at the corner of her mouth. His dark eyes darkened, and his blood boiled. He knew very well how soft that little hand was. "Come here." Di Hao Ian's voice was slightly low. Tang Bao, who did not understand, looked at Di Hao Ian and asked, "What are you doing?" Di Hao Ian was too lazy to speak again. He directly pulled her over forcefully. Tang Bao fell on Di Hao Ian's body, and her head hit Di Hao Ian's firm chest. Her head hurt from the impact. "What are you doing?" "I just ate." Di Hao Ian interrupted Tang Bao rudely. A mouthful of fragrant soup slid down her throat. Di Hao Ian pulled Tang Bao up. He said, "You can take a walk after eating. You can't sleep immediately." But Tang Bao wanted to say something, but was stopped dead in his tracks. Did he have to be like this? Could he let her say something? However, the dictatorial and overbearing Di Hao Ian would not allow it. The next day in the office, "Are you talking about delaying the menstruation by a month? For us women, who can bleed for 7 days without dying, it's already amazing. You want to bleed for a month? Do you want to bleed all the blood in your body dry?" Tang Bao lay on the desk like a frosted eggplant. The problem she considered last night was still there. Delaying the menstruation. "I know. That's why I asked you what you can do. I really can't help you with this. You should find someone else." "I don't want everyone to know." Juan Malay asked curiously. "By the way, what are you trying to do?" "Nothing. With that brain of yours, it can't be a good thing." Juan Malay had known her for a long time. Her brain was always full of mischief. The more Tang Bao thought about it, the more confused she became. That was because it was not a good thing. Because if Di Hao Ian found out about it, it would not be just breaking her bones and drinking her blood. In fact, when she thought about it, this was something she had to go through, right? As Di Hao Ian's wife, it was impossible for her to live without husband and wife all the time, right? If she told others, they might not believe it. Forget it. Anyway, if she had to do it, she would do it sooner rather than later. When she thought about it, Tang Bao's girlish shyness suddenly overflowed. It flowed into thousands of hot rivers of mind and body. Juan Malay looked at Tang Bao's infatuated look and was speechless. One moment she was worried, and the next moment she was shy. What was she trying to do? Tang Bao reached for her phone and sent a message. Alluring Bao, can you promise me something? I'll reply in a while. Master, no. The corners of Tang Bao's mouth twitched. Do you have to be like this? Alluring Bao, I haven't said what it is. Master, since you haven't said it, how can I promise you? Tang Bao cursed silently. As expected of Di Hao Ian, he was so smart. Alluring Bao, okay. I just want you to be gentle with me every day. Chapter 225. She hoped that Di Hao Ian would agree. However, Di Hao Ian's depth was always so unpredictable. Master, as long as you're comfortable. Alluring Bao, you're too selfish. You only know how to be comfortable. Master, I'm talking about you. Tang Bao. Tang Bao hugged his phone and continued to lie on the table with a red face. Forget it. There was no way to negotiate with Di Hao Ian. Don't ask anymore. We'll talk about it when the time comes. She shouldn't be so scared. She was a hero among women. What was there to be afraid of? Wasn't it just that? It would pass as soon as she closed her eyes. A few days later, Yu Yanlian came again in her 10-inch high heels. At the elevator entrance, she met Zhou Jisen, who was about to go to another department. Why are you here again? Zhou Jisen obviously had a problem with his ex-wife always visiting his office, especially since Yu Yanlian was a celebrity. He didn't want to have anything to do with her at all. Why, do you own the company? Yu Yanlian took off her sunglasses and asked with a sneer. Indeed, I don't, but I can call security. Zhou Jisen took out his phone and was about to make a call. Wait. Yu Yanlian pressed down on Zhou Jisen's hand. I'm not here to look for you. Why are you so agitated? Who are you looking for? Are you concerned about my whereabouts? Yu Yanlian asked with a smile as her body leaned in front of Zhou Jisen. Zhou Jisen's expression didn't change, and he didn't dodge. If you're here to look for President Tang, I suggest you don't do anything stupid. You only know how to remind others not to risk their lives, but you're risking your own life? If you're so worried about me, then remarry me. I won't look for her if we remarry, Yu Yanlian said. What she offered was a condition and also a threat. When the time comes, the young master won't look for me. If you're happy, then continue. Zhou Jisen finished speaking and left. Yu Yanlian's face fell. Looking at Zhou Jisen's back view, the feelings in her heart didn't want to give up so easily. She had already given up once. She couldn't give up a second time. Then she would really lose Zhou Jisen. Tang Bao was wondering if Di Hao Ian would touch her today or tomorrow. Would Di Hao Ian ever forget? Just like last time, Yu Yanlian appeared in a glamorous manner. Tang Bao felt completely different when he saw her this time. Last time, it was Yu Yanlian who showed her some photos that made her depressed for a long time. She even wronged Di Hao Ian. Now, she actually dared to come here? Coming to your office gives me a relaxing feeling. Yu Yanlian looked around and said with emotion, Why don't you just say that my office doesn't look like a leader's office? Tang Bao said angrily. Have you thought about it? Yu Yanlian asked with a smile. I have. Agreed. Yeah. Did he agree? I don't agree. Why? Yu Yanlian was surprised. I don't know why, but I feel that you and Vice President Zhou can't remarry because you're not sincere enough. Let me tell you a piece of gossip. What kind of gossip? There are many female employees in the company who want to throw themselves at Vice President Zhou. After all, Vice President Zhou is rich, handsome, and elite. Who wouldn't like him? Tang Bao said. Of course, Yu Yanlian knew this. That was why she was anxious. Since I helped you out of the kindness of my heart, why don't you organize your executives to go out for dinner and have fun tonight? Don't you need money to go out and have fun? You're making it sound so nice. Tang Bao's stingy nature was revealed again. Don't worry about that. I'll pay for everything. At this moment, Yu Yanlian and Tang Bao were like two extremes. One was extremely generous, the other was extremely stingy. Tang Bao and Wang Malay looked at each other. Wang Malay was definitely willing to go. She was certainly willing to have close contact with her idol. Tang Bao was initially unwilling. However, after hearing Yu Yanlian's generosity, his gaze softened. But how could he tell Di Hao Ian? Di Hao Ian allowed her to go to the company during the day, but he definitely wouldn't allow her to not return to the castle on time, especially since the incident of her recruiting male gigolos at the bar was still vivid in his mind. Needless to say, Di Hao Ian would definitely not agree. Moreover, she could imagine Di Hao Ian's expression and tone and what he wanted to say. Just thinking about it made her bones tighten and ache all over. "Don't worry, we won't go to the bar," Yu Lianlian said. Tang Bao was stunned. He thought that Yu Lianlian was amazing. She could actually see through his thoughts. But he couldn't let others know that he was a coward. So, he pretended to be calm. "What's there for me to be worried about? I can go anywhere. There's no place that I won't dare to go, as long as you can't think of it. Let's go to my villa in the suburbs." After Yu Lianlian left, Tang Bao gritted his teeth and silently thought, "Did I agree too quickly? Why didn't I act first and report later?" She had just become friendly with Di Hao Ian, and now she was doing this again? Tang Bao asked one Malay beside him. "I didn't agree, did I?" He didn't disagree either. "Are you afraid of the young emperor?" One Malay knew that Tang Bao liked to play too. Could he not say it out loud? "Don't I want my face?" "It's not going to the bar, so it should be fine," one Malay said. "I think it's fine too." But some people felt that there was a big problem. Not returning to the castle was a big problem. Tang Bao didn't understand. As the king of D City and the ruler of T, why was he so free all day long? Even when he returned to the castle every day, he was so punctual. Couldn't he go out to socialize or something? His position was too high. He didn't even need to socialize. That was how awesome he was. Tang Bao suddenly remembered that Di Junbai had told him in the past that he and Di Lingwei were going out to socialize with So and So. It could be seen that Di Hao Ian used it to enslave his uncle and younger brother. He was really ruthless. Tang Bao sighed deeply in his heart again. That was why Di Lingwei wanted a revolt, right? Tang Bao held the phone and stroked it all over. The only thing he almost touched was the layer of gold powder on the edge of the phone. In the end, he didn't call and sent a message. Alluring Bao. I'm going out for a party with the company's higher-ups today. After waiting for a while, the master didn't respond. Alluring Bao sent again. Master Bao is calling master after waiting for a while. There was still no response. Why? Usually, when she sent a message, there would be an immediate reply. Could be that Di Hao Ian was busy. This was quite new. Thus, she thought that Di Hao Ian was playing games for a while when Tang Bao was busy and absent-minded, because half of her attention had been on the phone beside her. The phone seemed to have lost its smart signal and was silent until the end. Was it not done yet? Tang Bao called and picked up. "Di Hao Ian, are you busy?" "No." A low and clear voice. "Then did you see the message I sent?" "Yes." Tang Bao was stunned. "Why didn't you reply to me when you saw it?" Chapter 226. She could not stop him. Tang Bao felt a chill down her spine. If she were to talk to him in front of Di Hao Ian, she would be frozen and shivering in fear. Yes, it's necessary. Think about it. As the boss of the company, it's only right for me to have gatherings with the higher-ups. A far-sighted person in power doesn't need to do these things. Tang Bao thought, is Di Hao Ian saying that I'm useless? She felt that she could not win against Di Hao Ian in this aspect. She thought about it, but before she could say anything, her face had already turned red. "Well, if you agree to let me go, we could do that thing tonight. I'll be very cooperative." Tang Bao lowered her voice and said. Her face turned even redder. "Even if you don't cooperate, I have a way to make you cooperate." Di Hao Ian was unmoved, because if he wanted, Tang Bao could not resist. Tang Bao knew that was true, but she could not keep her face. She said unhappily, "Di Hao Ian, I've already told you in advance. What else do you want?" "Why? Do you want to resist?" Tang Bao gritted her teeth. Did she dare? At most, she would be impulsive. In the end, she was still suppressed by Di Hao Ian. "Actually, it's Yu Lianlian who wants to remarry Zhou Jisen. I want to help her. You don't know, but I don't like Zhou Jisen very much. Every day, he acts as if he's some big shot. Isn't it fun to fulfill his wish?" Tang Bao's eyes lit up. Zhou Jisen was not the kind of person that Di Haoyan disliked. At least, he knew that he would not get close to Tang Bao. He could trust such a person. Even so, when Tang Bao criticized other men, Di Haoyan was in a good mood. "Where are we going?" "At Yu Lianlian's villa in the suburbs." "What do you think?" "Let me go." Tang Bao saw that Di Haoyan's tone was relaxed, so she immediately struck while the iron was hot. Her tone was a little coquettish. Di Haoyan's dark eyes deepened. "Got it." "Yeah." Tang Bao happily stretched out her hand and made a V sign. Then she realized that the phone call was still there, so she said, "Sorry, I forgot to hang up. When you come back tonight, I'll kill you." Di Haoyan's voice came through the phone. The so-called bringing the higher-ups to the gathering was actually Zhou Jisen's villa. Tang Bao, Wan Malay, and Zhou Jisen sat in the back of the car, with a driver and an assistant in front. Zhou Jisen was in a suit and tie. He didn't look like he was going to a party, but more like he was asking for a meeting. He exuded the aura of an elite. Tang Bao and Wan Marai were like two little girls curled up in their seats. He was shrouded in the aura of an elite. "Vice President Zhou, why don't you change into something more relaxing?" "Isn't it just relaxing?" Tang Bao asked. "I only have this kind of clothes at home. It's the same even if I change," Zhou Jisen said. Tang Bao. Wan Malay. "Vice President Zhou, don't you think it's strange that only the three of us are going out for the gathering?" Tang Bao asked again. "Strange. Strange, why didn't you ask?" Tang Bao was curious. "I'm a lawyer. Why would I be worried about being sold?" Zhou Jisen asked calmly. That was indeed the case. Besides Di Haoyan, the smartest people were lawyers. But Tang Bao laughed in his heart. "I'll sell you out." They went to the suburbs that Tang Bao had never been to before. They entered the luxurious villa. The facilities inside were complete. Because it was located in the countryside, there were trees and flowers everywhere. It looked very comfortable and suitable for fun. Under the embellishment of the night, the lights were like bright pearls in the night. There were all kinds of colorful lights wrapped around the branches of the trees. It was really beautiful. Tang Bao said whimsically, "When I go back, I'll also wrap such lights around the trees around the castle. It's really beautiful." Wan Malay did not agree at all. He replied in a low voice, "Can you not lower the level of the castle?" It sounded infuriating, but it was the truth. Yu Lianlian immediately came out to welcome them. She was dressed very sexy and beautiful. Her exquisite makeup made her look as beautiful as if she had walked out from the television. Tang Bao could not take his eyes off her. He just did not know why Zhou Jisen wanted to divorce her. Was his request too high? When they entered the house, Tang Bao, who was walking behind Zhou Jisen, asked in a low voice, "Do you want to remarry?" "I haven't considered it." "Did Yu Lianlian do something wrong to you? Is that why you are unwilling to forgive her?" "Let me think. The most serious thing between a husband and wife is an affair." Zhou Jisen's face was indifferent. He looked straight ahead and said, "President Tang, you should worry about your own marriage." "Me? What should I worry about?" Tang Bao asked curiously. Wan Malay, who was beside him, tugged at his hand. "What are you doing?" Then he followed Wan Malay's line of sight. He finally understood what Zhou Jisen meant. Tang Bao did not expect to meet Di Junbai here. If he had met Di Junbai in the past, Tang Bao would have been overjoyed. He could not wait to pounce on him and talk to Di Junbai happily. But now, he stood there and did not dare to go forward. This was because he was afraid that Di Haoyan would drink her blood. "What's wrong? You're not going to greet your good friend?" It was Zhou Jisen's turn to fight back. After saying that, he did not stay and went elsewhere. Zhou Jisen thought to himself as he walked. Why was he being so serious with a child? Was he going to go back in time? More importantly, after Zhou Jisen left, Wan Malay also left. Before Tang Bao could stop Wan Malay, he saw Di Junbai walking over. There was a warm smile on his face. Then, Di Junbai stood in front of her and said, "I didn't expect to see you here. Brother Junbai, are you here to have fun too? Did Yu Lianlian invite you?" Tang Bao asked. "Yu Lianlian invited Ma Shu. I was there when she called, so I came over together. Tang Bao looked at the men and women in the living room who were walking around with wine glasses in their hands. He cursed Yu Lian for being an idiot. She looked quite smart, but why was she so brainless? She had purposely created an opportunity for her and Zhou Jisen, but she had invited so many people. Did Yu Lian like this kind of atmosphere? Tang Bao, don't tell me you don't want to see me? Di Junbai asked. Huh? Why would I? Of course not. Tang Bao said immediately. She did not have anything against Di Junbai. She was just afraid of Di Haoyan. I'm joking. Don't be nervous. Di Junbai smiled. I'm not nervous. Huh? Away from the liveliness in the living room, Yu Lian walked to a secluded corner and took out a bottle of transparent liquid. She said to her assistant, drip this into Zhou Jisen's cup when he's not paying attention. What is this? The assistant was nervous. Chapter 227. The assistant heaved a sigh of relief. It was good that she didn't kill anyone. When a husband and wife got divorced, they couldn't stand that the other party was living better than them, so they killed someone to vent their anger. Be careful. Don't let anyone see it, especially Zhou Jisen. Okay. There were people standing and sitting in the living room. Tang Bao chose to sit down because Zhou Jisen also sat down. She thought that with Zhou Jisen around, even if Di Haoyan knew something, he wouldn't have any ideas, right? When Tang Bao raised her head and met Zhou Jisen's eyes, the smile in Zhou Jisen's eyes was obvious. He seemed to be saying, have you asked the young master about your date with Di Junbai? Tang Bao was really troubled. Why did she always bump into Di Junbai when she went out to play? That wasn't the case. Instead, why was she always misunderstood by Di Haoyan whenever she interacted with Di Junbai? Tang Bao sighed sadly in her heart. Who asked her to so blatantly snatch Di Haoyan's wedding for Di Junbai? In Di Haoyan's heart, he must have thought that she liked Di Junbai. Otherwise, why would she have done something like snatching the wedding? When Di Junbai sat down on the sofa, Tang Bao was so scared that she immediately stood up. Because her action was too sudden, the few people sitting on the sofa looked at her in unison. Huh, I'm going to bathroom, Tang Bao said with a smile. Wan Malay spat out the fruit in her mouth. Tang Bao was already embarrassed, and when Wan Malay spat at her, her face turned even redder. It was like preparing to fart in class. Afraid that someone would hear it, she wanted to cover it up by screaming, but she didn't manage to synchronize her scream with the fart. She screamed first, and when everyone was looking at her, she let out a loud fart. Although Tang Bao wasn't that embarrassed at the moment, the nature was not far off. Therefore, she left quickly with a red face. While the atmosphere was harmonious, Di Haoyan's car was already on the road. Behind the black military luxury car, there were bodyguards in the same color as the cars. The imposing manner was not angry, but it was majestic and inviolable. The atmosphere in the car was so cold that it made people shudder. Ju and the driver in the car were both affected. Could it be that the young emperor's aura was so terrifying? When he found out that young madam was going to Di Junbai, the young master couldn't sit still. He directly charged over. People who were a few miles away would be frightened by his face. Did you find out why he was there? Di Haoyan's voice was low and cold. She seems to be close to a celebrity in the entertainment industry, and that celebrity is Yu Lian's friend. Coincidentally, they went together. Di Junbai probably didn't know that young madam would be there. I heard from Zhou Jisen that both of them were very surprised. Ju's accident made Di Haoyan's face turn even uglier and scarier. Did this mean that they were fated to be together? Did they happen to be together? The veins on Di Haoyan's forehead were about to twist. He should have locked that little thing in the castle every day and not allowed her to go anywhere. Tang Bao went in from the bathroom. When he came out, he felt that the design of the villa was quite novel. It seemed to be a fusion of ancient and modern styles. There were a lot of doors. They weren't wooden doors, but frosted glass doors. When Tang Bao returned to the sofa, he sat down, picked up the glass of water in front of him, and took a sip. He said to Wan Malay, "Don't sit here. Let's go somewhere else to take a look. I feel that the design here is quite interesting." "Sure, I wanted to wait for you to come and take a look together," Wan Malay said. Then, the two of them stood up and went elsewhere to wander around. While he was looking, Tang Bao suddenly remembered something and asked, "Have you found a house yet?" "Yes. 1 room, 1 living room, and 1 bathroom. I'll move in after I choose an auspicious day." "You're renting a house, not buying a house to move in. Do you still need an auspicious day?" Tang Bao was stunned by her. "Why not? I feel more at ease. Could it be that there are ghosts?" Wan Malay had goosebumps all over her body. "Can you stop talking nonsense? How am I going to sleep alone at night?" "Tisk, when did you become so superstitious? I'd rather believe it." "All right, you have to help me on the day of moving. I can't move here alone." "I'm not going." Tang Bao rejected her immediately. "Why?" Wan Malay couldn't believe it. 1 room, 1 living room. Don't you know how to prepare a room for me? If I don't have a place to stay one day, I can go to your place to squeeze in." "You're not squeezing in. You're asking young Master D to tear down my house that's dozens of square meters. Don't tell me there's no place for you in your castle." "TSK, you might not know, but the castle is very big. Other than the master bedroom, all the other rooms are sealed. In other words, they're locked." "Damn, why do I feel so hot?" Tang Bao was a little annoyed. "There's sweat on your forehead, and your face is red." Wan Malay helped her wipe her forehead. "Do you have a fever? You seem to have a fever." Wan Malay touched her own and then touched Tang Bao's. She was surprised. "It seems like you're really feverish." "CKU, I'm feeling hot. Won't you feel dizzy when you have a fever?" "I'm going to the bathroom to wash my face." "What are you doing?" Tang Bao turned around and went to the bathroom. "I'll go with you." "No need. We'll be there after turning the corner." Tang Bao went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on her face. Her face was full of water, and she even drank a few mouthfuls of cold water. The temperature in her body decreased slightly. But then, Tang Bao felt a little dizzy. Oh my God, did she really have a fever? After drinking the cold water for a few seconds, the heat became more and more uncomfortable. She felt a stream of heat fiercely drilling into her body. Her face was flushed red, and she couldn't help but moan. Di Hao Yin. What should she do? She was so hot. Tang Bao didn't know what was wrong with her, but she wanted to call Di Hao Yin now. Di Hao Yin had just gotten out of the car and was surrounded by cold air. When he saw that Tang Bao was calling, he immediately picked up. "Have you had enough fun?" Di Hao Yin. Tang Bao said the name in a particularly delicate manner. I feel so uncomfortable." "What do you feel uncomfortable?" Di Hao Yin's heart tightened. It's so hot. You come quickly." Tang Bao's delicate breathing became even more unbearable. Di Hao Yin's face suddenly darkened. Before he could say anything, just as he raised his foot and hurriedly stepped out, he heard a loud boom. A corner of the house in front of him was blown up, and the house instantly collapsed. The beeping sound in Di Hao Yin's ears was like a thorn that pierced into his heart. Tang Bao, who was on the phone, didn't know what was going on either. Before she could finish speaking, she felt the whole house shake and explode with a loud boom. Chapter 228. She could even hear someone screaming in panic. "Is this an earthquake? Let's go." Di Junbai hugged Tang Bao and ran back. Tang Bao was not feeling well, but she could not care less at the moment. She was shocked. She did not know what was going on. "Are you sure this isn't a dream? Why was the house collapsing?" Tang Bao did not know where she was, and then she was pushed into a warehouse-like place by Di Junbai. The aluminum alloy door was closed just like that. As soon as the door was closed, there was a rumbling sound outside, and then the warehouse shook. "Ah!" Tang Bao fell back. Her body was suddenly held by Di Junbai, and both of them fell to the ground. They slammed hard on the aluminum alloy door. Tang Bao only felt a dull pain in her head. Her vision turned black, and she fainted. Di Hao Yin was holding Tang Bao. Although he was hit, he did not faint. When he found that Tang Bao had fainted, he immediately hugged her and called out to her, "Tang Bao, Tang Bao." He thought that she must have fainted. But why was her body so hot? Her face was burning. The rumbling outside stopped. They could go out. However, Di Junbai wanted to open the aluminum alloy door. The lock seemed to have lost control after the impact. He could not help but hit the door hard. It was useless. Di Hao Yian's heart almost stopped. His red eyes looked around for Tang Bao's figure in the ruins. He even used his hands to frantically lift the tables and chairs and dig at the soil. Tang Bao. Tang Bao. The other bodyguards did not dare to be negligent. They hurriedly looked around. Ju felt that Di Hao Yian had lost his mind at this moment, but he could not panic. He immediately called the police and the ambulance. After calling for the ambulance, he and Di Hao Yian looked for Tang Bao. Zhou Jisen and Yu Lianlian were the first to crawl out. Both of them were covered in dust. They could not dodge in time when the house collapsed, so they hid under the table. To be exact, Yu Lianlian was pushed under the table by Zhou Jisen. Otherwise, she would be buried. Then, other celebrities climbed out one after another. Di Hao Yian did not see Tang Bao. He stepped forward and grabbed Zhou Jisen's collar. Where is she? Where is he? Zhou Jisen was almost suffocated by Di Hao Yian's grip. I'm sorry. It happened too suddenly. I didn't see her. Find him, all of you. If you can't find him, I'll bury all of you with him. Di Hao Yian roared like a madman, his black eyes frighteningly red. Di Hao Yian was probably the only one who could be so unreasonable. But no one doubted his words. In other words, those who were lucky enough to survive did not mean that they were truly alive. Before they were sure that Tang Bao was safe and sound, they had to make sure that Tang Bao was safe. Everyone would be killed by him. Tang Bao was woken up by the heat in his body. Tang Bao, you're awake? It's good that you're okay. Di Junbai touched her face, his eyes filled with joy that could not be hidden. Tang Bao's breathing was rapid. Brother Junbai, where are we? This should be a shelter specially built in Yu Lianlian's villa. We can't get out for the time being. We have to wait for people outside to save us. Tang Bao mumbled uncomfortably. What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Di Junbai asked hurriedly. Tang Bao's face was abnormally red. It had been so from the beginning. The heat in her body did not decrease. I'm so hot. Tang Bao wanted water, hoping that he could touch something cooler. Di Junbai looked at Tang Bao's reaction and suddenly understood. He was shocked. Why did he have such a reaction? Tang Bao, what did you eat? Logically speaking, there should not be anything unclean here, unless someone framed him. However, he could not think of anyone who would harm Tang Bao here. Tang Bao's body was not only hot, but her brain was also hot. It made her lose the strength to think, but she could still hear Di Junbai's question. She said with difficulty, I don't know, you've been drugged, Di Junbai told her. Well, what? Tang Bao, who was confused by the heat, suddenly woke up. What was going on? Why was she drugged? Di Junbai felt that his throat was a little dry and hoarse. He asked, Do you want me to help you? Do you know who I am? Tang Bao seemed to be shocked by his question. She raised her eyes, which were watery because of the heat. Di Junbai's face was blurry and clear in her vision. Her hands clutched Di Junbai's clothes tightly. It was as if she was saying that she needed him so much. Di Junbai was mesmerized by her appearance. He was deeply immersed in those two watery eyes that were full of desire. Didn't he like Tang Bao? How could he not like her? He was attracted to her from the first time he met her. But he didn't know that Tang Bao was the person Di Hao Yian wanted. And it was someone he had to marry. Was he going to fight with his brother? Could he win? Di Junbai knew what he had lost. He also knew that he was no longer qualified to like her. Even if he brainwashed himself like this, his heart seemed to be separated from his brain and kept leaning toward Tang Bao. He couldn't help but be attracted to her. He knew that she couldn't belong to him, but he always had too many fantasies in his heart. He imagined that she would always be by his side and never leave. However, when he returned to reality, he had to bear the pain of Tang Bao not being by his side. Therefore, at this moment, the temptation was too great for him. He even hoped that no one would come to save them and let them stay here until death. Di Junbai couldn't hold back in the end, especially when he knew that Tang Bao really needed someone to help her now. His body and heart were ready to move. So, he lowered his head. Di Hao Yian and his people, and even the people present, were looking for Tang Bao. Those collapsed beams, cement, broken windows, and debris, all in a disorderly mess, all made people feel frightened and chilled. As time passed, Di Hao Ian's expression became worse. It was impossible to describe his ashen expression. Only his black eyes were sharp like a beast on the verge of being injured. The two hands were stained with blood as they pulled at the collapsed wreckage. It was a ghastly sight. Chapter 229. Di Hao Ian immediately went forward and pulled out the person buried in the soil onto the sofa. However, he found that it was not the Tang Bao, but Wan Malay. Wan Malay was here, so the Tang Bao should not be far away. Di Hao Ian immediately laid his hands on the soil, concrete, and broken wooden nails that could easily hurt his hands. It was as if those hands were not his. The more they found the Tang Bao, the more dangerous it would be. Ju checked Wan Malay's breath. She was not breathing. Ju frowned and immediately gave her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He pressed his hands on her chest and pressed hard. He hoped that she could still be saved. After Ju pressed for more than 10 times, Wan Malay coughed violently and was breathing again. Wan Malay felt as if she was about to die. "Are you okay?" Wan Malay looked up and saw Ju. She looked elsewhere and saw the ruins of the villa. Only then did she remember what had happened just now. There were also people who kept digging the soil with their hands. She even saw the powerful Di Hao Ian coming toward her. "Where is she?" Di Hao Ian's eyes were as dark as the Grim Reaper's, with a terrifying scarlet color. Wan Malay was stunned. "I'm asking you, where is she?" Di Hao Ian roared. Wan Malay trembled from the roar, and tears suddenly welled up in her eyes. She was afraid that something would happen to the Tang Bao. "Tang Bao, you didn't find her? How could it be?" She said she was very hot. So, she went to the bathroom. As soon as she finished speaking, Yu Yinlian pointed and said, "The bathroom is over there." When Di Junbai was about to press down on her, Tang Bao used her strength and willpower to roll off Di Junbai's body. Di Junbai was shocked and wanted to hug her. "Tang Bao." Tang Bao crawled forward. His consciousness was almost burned away by the heat of his body. However, she was still determined to stay away from Di Junbai. He reached the edge of the room and hid in a corner. Because of the effects of the medicine, her body kept trembling. She bit her lips so that she could feel the pain and wake herself up. Di Junbai looked at her painful expression and sadness flashed across his eyes. His heart ached for her stubbornness. "Tang Bao, do you hate me that much? I thought you liked me. Otherwise, why would she rob him when she knew he was married?" Di Junbai knew everything, but he pretended not to know anything. At that moment, Tang Bao was struggling against the effects of the drug as he said bitterly, "Brother Junbai, can you knock me out? What if fainting doesn't help? At least I won't feel so bad." Tang Bao's tears fell uncomfortably. It was so unbearable. She was afraid that she would lose control and cause an irreversible result. Tang Bao couldn't understand her current state. Didn't she like Di Junbai? Didn't she want to marry Di Junbai? Why was she unwilling to do anything with him when she was in this state? She didn't cling to him for no reason. She was drugged. Even if she hadn't eaten pork, she had seen pigs run. She knew what was going on. She had no choice. What chastity did she have? And it was someone she liked. However, even though Tang Bao had such thoughts in her mind, she did not urge her to do so. "You fainted just now because the drug forced you to wake up. It'll be the same if you faint again." Tang Bao's feverish brain wondered if Di Junbai was inviting her. "Brother Junbai, I can't. I'm already married. I can't do that." Tang Bao clung tightly to the cool aluminum alloy, but she felt that the aluminum alloy was starting to heat up. Her vision was blurry, and she looked like she was dying. "You're torturing yourself." Di Junbai couldn't bear to see her like this. He would rather do something for Tang Bao. Tang Bao's avoidance also made his heart ache. "No matter what you want to do, no one will know. I won't tell my brother either." Tang Bao's long eyelashes fluttered like the wings of a startled butterfly. She muttered weakly, "Di Hao, it might take some time for them to find us. Can you really bear it?" Tang Bao's body trembled violently. Tears fell from the corners of her eyes. She only knew that she had to endure it, even if she couldn't help it. Brother Junbai, I promised him that I'll be with him for the first time in my life. Tang Bao bit her lip tightly after saying that. She bit her lip so hard that it turned white. Di Junbai's eyes flashed with surprise and joy when he heard Tang Bao's words. How is that possible? You've been married for so long? Tang Bao didn't say anything. She just wanted to let Di Junbai know that she was determined. She wouldn't really do anything with him. She was Di Haoyan's wife. She wouldn't do something like that. She promised that she would be with him tonight. Why did this happen? Why was she drugged? Tang Bao, who had always been strong, became extremely weak under the torture of drugs. The people outside didn't find Tang Bao in the bathroom. Not even a corner of her clothes could be found. Even if she was buried, it was impossible that they couldn't find her. For the first time in his life, Di Haoyan felt defeated. Why couldn't he find her? Where is she? He Ju looked at Di Haoyan, who was frozen and motionless like a lifeless statue. His whole body was tense, as if he was going to roar in the next second. His scarlet eyes looked like an injured beast. Both his hands were dripping blood, but he didn't feel it at all. He Ju looked around and suddenly thought of something. He went forward and said, "Young master, Di Junbai isn't here either." Di Haoyan's dark eyes moved slightly. They were so cold that it was frightening. What are you trying to say? I'm thinking, could it be that young madam and Di Junbai aren't here? Otherwise, why can't we find them even though this place has been turned upside down? Moreover, the possibility of Di Junbai being buried is not high. He Ju said with his head held high. He made it sound as if Di Junbai and Tang Bao had eloped together. But if he didn't say that, how could he explain the current situation? Everyone was here, especially not with Di Junbai, and it was better than being buried alive by Tang Bao, wasn't it? Di Haoyan immediately thought of the call that Tang Bao made to him before the accident. His voice was as cold as an ice cellar, and the people a few miles away were frozen. Which one of you drug her? As soon as these three words came out, Yu Yinlian's expression immediately changed. Zhou Zhishan, who was next to her, saw it. He could see every change in his ex-wife's expression. If nothing had happened, Yu Yinlian wouldn't be like this. He frowned and asked, "You'd better tell the truth. What exactly happened?" Yu Yinlian's expression became even more panicked. After encountering such a big incident, she couldn't stay calm. Chapter 230. You drug her. Zhou Zhishan's expression turned cold. I did, but I didn't drug Tang Bao. Why would I drug her? I just wanted to force you to submit. How would I know that she would be drugged? I didn't know at all. Yu Yinlian was about to cry. In other words, she had drugged him. Zhou Zhishan wasn't drugged, but Tang Bao was. If she had drugged him correctly, Zhou Zhishan wouldn't be standing there with a calm expression. After Wan Malay heard this, she immediately pointed at Wan Malay and scolded, "Are you crazy? Why would you drug her for no reason?" No wonder Tang Bao kept saying that it was hot when we went upstairs to visit. If she wasn't so hot that she wanted to wash her face in the bathroom, she wouldn't have been separated from me and couldn't be found. It turned out that Tang Bao wasn't having a fever, but being drugged. At that time, Wan Malay had something to do with Tang Bao. She was about to go to the bathroom when she suddenly heard a loud noise in the house. She thought it was an earthquake and quickly hid under the sofa next to her. After that, she didn't know anything. Di Haoyan had a cold aura of death and said, "You'd better keep her safe and sound. Otherwise, I will definitely burn your bones and scatter your ashes." Tang Bao pressed against the aluminum alloy in discomfort. Her face was so red that there was no room for her to turn white. Even her exposed neck, arms, and legs were red. Waves of heat flowed through her heart. Her desire was so strong. It was so strong that she wanted to destroy everything. Tang Bao gritted her teeth tightly. Her heart was breaking down. Di Haoyan, if you can't find me, I'll find someone else. Don't blame me when that happens. After her body convulsed again, Tang Bao let out a sound. Di Junbai stepped forward and subdued her to the ground. His expression was desperate. He stared at Tang Bao just like that. "Brother Junbai?" Let me help you. When Tang Bao heard these words again, she still tried hard to control herself. She wanted to wait for Di Hao Yin to come. She would wait, and Di Hao Yin would appear. Di Junbai seemed to be so persistent that she had to do this. She could not bear to see Tang Bao suffer like this rather than accept him. Tang Bao, the thing I regret the most is that I didn't stand up for you on our wedding day. I'm sorry. I hope that from this moment on, you belong to me. Di Junbai finished his words gently and was about to make his move. No, Tang Bao struggled with all his might, but she had no strength. He was losing control of his body more and more. After enduring for a few hours, the Tang Bao could no longer differentiate between the two. Lying there on his back, tears fell from the corners of her eyes. She could not wait for Di Hao Yin. What is she doing? Why is this happening? She fainted. Before she fainted, she whispered, Di Hao Yin. When the door of the aluminum alloy private warehouse opened, the first thing she saw was the Tang Bao lying in the arms of Di Junbai, who was also disheveled. There were traces of injuries on his neck, and there was even a piece of coagulated blood on the ground. Tang Bao was sleeping heavily in Di Junbai's arms. His face was pale, and there was no longer the abnormal flush that he had when the drug took effect. Di Hao Yin's black eyes were almost bloodshot, and his face was ferocious and distorted. He stepped forward and carried Tang Bao over. At the same time, he kicked Di Junbai fiercely. Even if Di Junbai dodged quickly, he could not withstand Di Hao Yin's roar of anger. He was kicked directly into the aluminum alloy wall, and there was a loud bang. Di Junbai immediately vomited blood. Di Junbai only frowned a few times, but other than that, he did not show any other expression. He stared at the cold-blooded and terrifying Di Hao Yin, who was ready to kill at any time, and let the blood flow from the corner of his mouth. Did you touch her? Di Hao Yin's voice was hoarse, as if it was torn by something. Didn't you already know? Di Junbai did not answer his question, and instead asked him a question. Di Hao Yin's face was expressionless. The more expressionless Di Hao Yin was, the more terrifying it was. The people who were watching from the side quietly stepped back, afraid that the murderous aura would press on them. Even Iju did not dare to say a word at this time. Tang Bao, who was unconscious, moved uneasily. This was an instinctive fear, and it was not that he wanted to wake up. Di Hao Yin was pulled back to reality by the squirming of the person in his arms. If it was not for Tang Bao's squirming, he would not have been able to see a trace of light, and then he would have killed Di Junbai in his dark world. Then Di Hao Yin hugged the person in his arms tightly, turned around, and left. When Tang Bao woke up, she was in the car. She thought that she was still in the aluminum alloy storage room, and that the person who was hugging her was still Di Junbai. Her body was invaded by a chill, and she felt that the person hugging her was also cold. Brother Junbai, it's cold. After she called out, she felt the sturdy body hugging her suddenly stiffen. Tang Bao realized that something was wrong. She pushed her weak body out of the embrace and saw Di Hao Yin. When her eyes met with his dark eyes, Tang Bao only felt that her body was even colder. Her heart was trembling. Di Hao Yin did not say a word and just looked at her. There was an incomprehensible calmness in his dark eyes, like a deep pool in the middle of a barren land. There was not a single ripple, but it was bone-chilling. Why did it become like this? Were they not talking about what they were going to do at night a few hours ago? Why did such a thing happen? Tang Bao did not dare to look into Di Hao Yin's eyes anymore. She did not even have the courage to ask Di Hao Yin if he already knew that she had been drugged and that something that should not have happened between her and Di Junbai. Was there need to ask? Her body was in pain, and her clothes were dirty. It should be very clear what this meant, right? Tang Bao turned her face and looked at the speeding streetlights outside the car window. She wanted to jump out of the car. The car drove all the way back to the castle. On the way back, the atmosphere in the car was so oppressive that it was suffocating. No one said a word. After the car stopped, Tang Bao prepared to get out of the car with her weak body. However, her body was light, and Di Hao Yin picked her up. Tang Bao fell into Di Hao Yin's arms. Her eyes were hot, and tears fell just like that. It was silent. After returning to the room, Tang Bao wanted to crawl into the bathroom as soon as her feet touched the ground. However, Di Hao Yin stopped her. Let the doctor see if you are injured. I'm not injured. I want to take a shower. Chapter 231. Di Hao Yin stood outside the bathroom door and did not do anything. The expression on his face was so deep and cold that it was suffocating. Tang Bao looked at herself in the mirror. When she saw the marks on her neck, she sobbed and wanted to cry. Afraid that the people outside would hear, she immediately covered her mouth with her hand. Tears dripped from her eyes and slipped into the gaps between her fingers. She shed a hand full of tears. Tang Bao cried as she turned on the shower and stood under the shower to wash herself. She kept washing every part of her body. Her neck was rubbed red by her. When she carefully cleaned her body, there was a wound. As long as she touched it, she would immediately feel a sharp pain. It seemed that she had been injured during the earthquake. She collapsed and fainted at that time. Who should Tang Bao hate? Should she hate Di Junbai? Or herself? Was it still useful to think about these things now? She could no longer go back to the time before she went to the villa. Tang Bao washed in the bathroom for a long time. She did not want to go out. She wanted to stay here forever. She did not want to have any contact with Di Hao Yin. Tang Bao, who was immersed in a trance, was suddenly shocked and her body trembled. How much longer do you need to wash? Di Hao Yin turned off the water. A white towel fell on her wet hair and he wiped her dry. After drying her hair, he wrapped it with his pajamas. Lowering his waist, Tang Bao fell into his arms and was carried out. When Tang Bao was placed on the bed, she choked and said, Di Hao Yin, let's get a divorce for him. Di Hao Yin's black eyes were cold and sinister. Tang Bao's lips moved, but she did not make a sound. You want to be with him? Have you gotten your wish now? Tang Bao heard Di Hao Yin's calm voice and felt a chill run down her spine. It was as if Di Hao Yin had just returned from hell. There was still energy left on his body. Even if I don't want you, you will die in the castle. Di Hao Yin said coldly and turned to leave. Tears flowed out of the corners of Tang Bao's eyes. They dripped down drop by drop like pearls. Di Hao Yin, you misunderstood me. I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't want it to be like that. I was waiting for you to save me. His heart was breaking down silently. Tang Bao knew that Di Hao Yin had misunderstood. She wanted a divorce because she no longer had the right to stay here. She did not want to leave with Di Junbai. Tang Bao did not know when he fell asleep, but he did not sleep well. When he woke up, the sky was still dark. There was no one beside him. It was cool and flat to the touch. Di Hao Yin did not sleep here. Did he think that she was unclean? So you don't want to sleep here? The room was so quiet, and she was the only one who felt warm. Tang Bao felt that his world had become cold and his body was shivering. In a daze, he heard a knock on the door. Tang Bao opened his eyes and realized that the sky was already bright. He only felt that the sky was dark just now. How did it become bright so quickly? It was as if it happened in the blink of an eye. It was Zhongli who came in. What's wrong? Tang Bao asked. I thought that young madam should be awake and hungry. So I asked the kitchen to make some food and bring it up, Zhongli said. Tang Bao thought for a moment and asked, Can you help me get a new room? Why? Zhongli was puzzled. Let Di Hao Yin sleep here. I can sleep in the previous room. The previous room. Young master slept there last night. Tang Bao was slightly stunned and repeated in disbelief. Di Hao Yin slept next door? Yes, he went out this morning. Tang Bao lowered his head and did not speak. His face was blank and helpless. His small hands clutched the quilt tightly. Then I'll ask them to bring it in. No need. I'll go down and eat it myself. Tang Bao lifted the quilt and got out of bed. Zhongli did not say anything and turned around to leave the room. After she went out, her face immediately became worried. What should she do? The two of them were fighting to the point where they were going to live separately. What happened? Zhongli, who had no idea what happened, felt very worried. The two of them were clearly so compatible. Although the young master was overbearing and domineering, his feelings for the young madam were obvious to all. Since that was the case, when they saw the young master making a cake in the kitchen that time, they almost fainted from fright. They thought that they did not do their job well. Later, they found out that it was to coax the young madam. Not to mention a high and mighty person like the young master. Even the husband of an ordinary family could not do this. At most, he would go to the store to buy a cake to coax his wife. However, if the young madam really did something wrong, the young master could also punish her slightly and let it go, right? However, Zhongli remembered the expression on the young master's face when he came down from upstairs in the morning. It was something she had never seen before. He did not even go to the restaurant. He just left. No one dared to go up and ask if he wanted to have breakfast. Even Li and didn't dare to go forward. Although the castle was big, it could still feel a particularly oppressive atmosphere. "Young madam is awake?" Lien walked over and asked. "Yes, but when I saw the young madam's expression, I felt bad," Zhongli said. In the castle, before Di Hao Ian got married, Lien was the one who went in and out of the room. Later on, with the Tang Bao, Lien could not enter the room. It was Zhongli who served him. Therefore, Lien did not know about the current situation of the Tang Bao, so he could only ask Zhongli. Before Zhongli could say anything, the Tang Bao had already come downstairs. "Good morning, young madam," Lien greeted. The Tang Bao went straight into the dining room, as if he did not hear anything. "Did you see it?" Zhongli asked and lowered his voice. "I've never seen the young master look like that in the morning, but I've never seen the young madam like that either. It was as if she had become lifeless. What the hell is going on?" Zhongli would rather the young master and the young madam had a small fight, and then the young master would lower his head to coax the young madam. This kind of love was so wonderful. But why did it seem to have become especially serious? Lien did not say anything. Of course, he had also seen the young master's appearance in the morning. But what could a servant like him do about his master's matters? "Why don't we ask Yiju?" Zhongli suggested. "I don't agree." "Why? What can you do if you ask?" Lien asked back. Although I can't do anything, I can comfort the young madam." Zhongli choked. What if the young master and the young madam don't want others to know about what happened between them? Won't you be counterproductive? "If that's the case, Yiju won't tell you," Lien said with certainty. Zhongli was speechless. But the more it was like this, the more anxious she was. "Then what should we do? I can't just watch the young madam be depressed and do nothing, right?" Lien sighed and said more steadily than Zhongli, "We'll see." When the two of them walked to the dining room, they were stunned. Chapter 232. It was as if she wasn't crying, but only her eyes were flowing. Silently. After eating, Tang Bao returned to her room. She didn't do anything. She went back to bed to sleep. If she couldn't fall asleep, she would daydream. Then, she would wait for lunch. When Zhongli went to the room to call for lunch, she saw Tang Bao leaning on the bed in a daze. She couldn't help but persuade her. "Young madam, although I don't know what happened, seeing you sad and the young master sad, I feel very sad. It's normal for husband and wife to quarrel. Isn't that the case for ordinary families? The young master will definitely turn around and make a cake for you like before. So, young madam, don't be too sad." Tang Bao turned her face and looked at Zhongli. She asked, "How am I sad?" "My entire heart has been dug out by him," Tang Bao said. She wanted to laugh, but there were tears in her eyes. Zhongli couldn't understand the meaning of that sentence, but she could see Tang Bao's pain. Her entire heart had been dug out. How painful was that? "I'm going down to eat." Tang Bao didn't explain. She got up and got out of bed. She walked out of the room. The castle was very big. Even the corridor was so long. No one would ever make any noise in the castle. Only her footsteps could be heard, neither hurried nor impatient. Perhaps there was noise in the past. That was because she created it herself. Whether Di Hao Ian was around or not, she would play around without any scruples. But now, why did she say that her entire heart had been dug out? Who dug it out? Tang Bao knew that it was Di Hao Ian. She never thought that she would pay much attention to Di Hao Ian in the past. Anyway, it was Di Hao Ian who was domineering towards her. She didn't need to spend much effort on Di Hao Ian. His own presence was already so strong that she couldn't ignore it. Only when this happened did she realize that her entire heart had been given to Di Hao Ian, not Di Junbai. Di Junbai had already forgotten about her when she couldn't escape from Di Hao Ian's control. But in the end, something like this happened. If she did not mention divorce, was she supposed to stay by Di Hao Ian's side for the rest of her life? Tang Bao wondered if she was having an affair. She did not sleep with Di Hao Ian, but accidentally gave her precious first time to Di Junbai. Di Hao Ian, why didn't he kill her? Tang Bao sat down at the table and ate the food that used to be delicious to her, but now tasted like wax. She used to love running to the dining table, because there were many different delicacies waiting for her. But now, she couldn't smell the fragrance of the delicious food. It couldn't tempt her. She was just stuffing food into her mouth out of habit. Tang Bao remembered that the last time she was angry and refused to eat, it was Di Hao Hian who asked the kitchen to make her some assorted noodles. If Tang Bao wasn't eating now, why was she not eating? Was she acting coquettishly in front of Di Hao Ian? Or why did she have now? Di Hao Ian wasn't around during the day, and Di Hao Ian didn't come back at night either. Tang Bao's phone was lost when the villa collapsed, so she couldn't wait for Di Hao Ian's call because she didn't have a phone? What else was she expecting? Was she expecting Di Hao Ian to treat her like before? Tang Bao didn't dare to take the initiative to call Di Hao Ian. She felt that she was a child who had done something wrong. She couldn't even curry favor with him. Zhongli came over for the third time and asked, "Young madam, I'm afraid young master won't come back for dinner. Why don't you eat first? Young master's food will be prepared in the kitchen." Tang Bao was conflicted. She was afraid of meeting Di Hao Ian, but she also hoped that he would come back. When Di Hao Ian didn't come back, her heart was filled with a strong sadness. Her heart felt as if it had been ruthlessly crushed by someone and suffocated. Tang Bao went back to her room after dinner. Tang Bao woke up in the middle of the night. The curtains weren't drawn, and the lights in the bedroom were on, so the moonlight couldn't shine in. Tang Bao stared at the ice wheel in the sky in a daze for a long time before sitting up from the bed. After opening the door, the servant on night duty immediately walked over. "Young madam, what's the matter?" Tang Bao looked at the room next to her and asked, "Is Di Hao Qian back?" "Young master hasn't come back yet." Tang Bao's heart immediately flashed with panic. That kind of panic was like the feeling of being abandoned, the loneliness of being all alone. But what else could she do? She couldn't do anything. Could it be that she still wanted to be Di Hao Ian's wife? After what she had done, it was impossible. Tang Bao didn't say anything. She turned back to the room and closed the door. Tang Bao went to bed, but she didn't lie down. She sat down and buried her face in her knees. Tang Bao didn't sleep all night. He walked through the corridor on tea, and the soles of his leather shoes hit the hard granite. The lights in the lounge were dim. If one didn't pay attention, they would think that the people inside were already asleep. He knocked on the door and went in. Di Hao Ian was sitting on the sofa inside, smoking. There were already many cigarette butts in the ashtray. Both of his hands were wrapped in gauze. After digging through the ruins for so long, ordinary people wouldn't be able to move. The doctor said that his tibia wasn't injured, but he still needed to be careful to avoid infection. The carved face became clearer in the dark, but the expression on his face couldn't be seen clearly. Everyone who was present that day understood what was going on. It was also what shocked them. Even if he had no choice, it was a fact that the young master had been cuckolded. "Young Master D, you haven't slept for 2 days and 2 nights, he said. Did she make a scene? Di Hao Ian's voice came through the smoke, and his emotions couldn't be heard. "No, I heard from the butler that the young madam eats 3 meals on time every day. After eating, she goes back to her room. She doesn't do anything else. She knows that it's useless to resist," Di Hao Ian said coldly. "She wants to be with Di Junbai so much. With me around, she can forget about it in this lifetime." Even if he couldn't get it, Tang Bao wouldn't be able to be with Di Junbai. Di Hao Ian knew that Tang Bao had been drugged, but she must have wanted it too, right? He knew in his heart that he had used force to marry Tang Bao. Tang Bao got married because of Di Junbai. Her heart wasn't with him. Even if he saved her, She still called out Di Junbai's name. She even wanted to divorce him. Dream on. Di Hao Ian's heart was twisted, ferocious, and emitting endless crazy danger. How's the matter? I asked you to investigate. Di Hao Ian's black eyes were extremely cold in the dark. Chapter 233. Di Hao Ian didn't say anything. He was wondering if there was a connection between the two incidents. Di Junbai, drugged in dynamite. He had investigated Di Junbai, and there was nothing suspicious. Yu Yinlian was the one who drugged Zhou Jisen, but Tang Bao had eaten it by mistake. Who was the one who planted the dynamite? The knocking on the door interrupted his thoughts. Di Hao Ian's eyes were as cold as ice. The bodyguard outside said, "Young master, Di Lingyue is here. He wants to see you." Di Ju's face was cold. It's almost 4 in the morning. He probably didn't sleep the whole night. "Young master, do you want to see him?" Di Hao Ian didn't say anything. Di Ju understood from his expression. He turned and left the lounge. After a while, Di Lingyue came in. He was old and couldn't endure it anymore. He looked a lot more haggard after staying up for a night. "Second uncle, have a seat." Di Hao Ian sat on the sofa and looked at him lazily. He didn't say anything from his calm tone. Di Lingyue sat on the sofa opposite him. Although he sat down, he didn't relax. "I just came over to take a look. I didn't expect you to be awake too. Although a young man's body is strong, he can't endure it. I'm old and I can't take it anymore." Di Lingyue said, "Second uncle, are you here to lament?" Di Hao Ian said coldly, "I couldn't contact Junbai. I wanted to ask if you saw him. I know he and his friends went to a party. I think Tang Bao was there too. I wanted to ask Tang Bao if he saw Junbai, but I felt that it was inappropriate. So I came to ask you. Since second uncle knows so much, you must know that the villa was bombed, right?" Di Hao Ian looked at him sharply. "I know. I've already asked around. It was bombed. No one died or was injured. But Junbai disappeared for no reason." "What is this?" Di Lingyue's face was very serious. "For no reason? Why does it sound like it has something to do with me?" "Second uncle, you don't think that Junbai's disappearance was caused by me, do you?" Di Hao Ian asked expressionlessly. "Of course I don't think so. Junbai is your only brother. You wouldn't treat him like that. Besides, what's the reason? So, Hao Ian, don't think too much about it. I definitely don't mean that." Di Lingyue just wanted to see Di Hao Ian's attitude. He really had no clue. He asked the survivors in the villa one by one, but none of them knew where Di Junbai had gone. It sounded like Di Junbai had been buried alive. But why were they all alive, while Di Junbai was buried alive? Di Lingyue trusted Di Hao Ian 100%? Of course not. If that was the case, what right did he have to fight with Di Hao Ian? It was just that he had no clue about this matter and could not find the point. Presumably, if Di Hao Ian had buried everything that had happened in the villa that day, no one would have dared to reveal anything, unless they didn't want their own life anymore. Di Lingyue didn't doubt this point. But if that was the case, why? "Second uncle, you should go back and rest early. Take care of your body." Di Hao Ian said emotionlessly, "Sai, I'm fine. It's just that your second aunt is very worried. I said that nothing will happen. Maybe Junbai has something to do and will be back in 2 days. But she said that Junbai isn't someone who doesn't take care of things. She said that I'm not at ease. Hao Ian, if you know anything, you must tell second uncle." Di Lingyue said, "Of course." Di Hao Ian replied with his dark eyes. Di Lingyue didn't stay any longer and left helplessly. Di Hao Ian's face instantly darkened. His dark eyes were inhumanly cold. Only brother? He didn't even care about his own nephew's life. Why would he care about his uncle's son? What a joke. He, Di Hao Ian, didn't have this kind of heart. Di Lingyue left, and He Ju came in. "Is he dead?" Di Hao Ian asked coldly. The air was stagnant and gloomy. "No. Young master, do you want to go and take a look?" Di Hao Ian's eyes darkened. "Do you think that Di Lingyue left willingly? He's waiting for me to leave so that he can follow me." "Then you're not going?" "Of course I'm going." He Ju didn't understand. "Let him know that Di Junbai is here and he can't see him. Sometimes, not seeing him is more unbearable than seeing him." Di Hao Ian said coldly. He Ju thought that this was ruthless. Di Hao Ian stood up and left the resting room. He even left the tea. Not long after the car drove out, they found another car following them. It wasn't Di Lingyue's car, but the person inside must be Di Lingyue. Di Lingyue was indeed smart. Di Haoyan's cold face was expressionless. Even when he saw Di Junbai, who was on the verge of death, he was expressionless. When Di Junbai saw Di Haoyan, he didn't panic or beg for mercy, even though he knew that his life was in Di Haoyan's hands. When he saw Di Haoyan as usual, he called out, "Brother, you touched her, so you deserve to die." Di Haoyan said coldly, "I know I shouldn't have, but she was in so much pain. She kept hugging me and asking me to help her. Brother, you know that I like Tang Bao, so I couldn't control myself. Brother, can you let us be together? Tang Bao and I love each other. She didn't marry you sincerely." "Ah!" Di Junbai suddenly screamed in pain. Di Haoyan stomped on the wound on his leg and crushed it like a cigarette, but on the ground. "Ah!" Di Junbai's face was pale, including his lips. Large beads of sweat rolled down his face. "Love each other? Let you be together?" Di Haoyan had a cruel smile on his face, but it was worse than not. He was like the grim reaper from hell, making people shiver in fear. "How dare you say such things to me? You're asking for death." He stomped again. Di Junbai's wound was crushed, and the sound of bones dislocating could be heard. "Ah!" Di Junbai was in so much pain that the veins on his neck were popping out. "I can kill you with just one stomp." Di Haoyan was terrifyingly cruel. His black eyes were bloodshot. "No, you don't dare to kill me. If you dare to kill me, you will do it now." Di Haoyan's black eyes were slightly dazed. "You're afraid that if you kill me, the Tang Bao will hate you." Di Junbai gasped for breath. Every word was laborious. Di Haoyan's face was filled with violence. He kicked Di Junbai away. Ugh! Di Junbai hit the wall behind him and vomited a mouthful of blood. Di Haoyan looked at him expressionlessly. "Then you can stay here and enjoy the feeling of living a life worse than death." After that, he turned and left. However, the expression on his face did not change for the better. In a rich and powerful family, Di Haoyan didn't need such kinship. Chapter 234. But Di Junbai was right. He didn't dare to kill him because of the Tang Bao. Di Haoyan didn't know that he would end up in such a sorry state because of the Tang Bao. It was this sorry state that made him so irritable, but he couldn't do anything. Di Haoyan's sinister face suddenly smiled again. His smile was terrifying. Even if he couldn't do anything, he wouldn't let Di Lingyue's family have a good time. How could they escape unscathed after provoking him? There was no such thing as mercy. Di Haoyan's men naturally noticed that Di Lingyue's car was following them all the way here. They didn't care and left just like that. Because even if Di Lingyue knew that they were hiding something, he wouldn't be able to see the inside story. Let him guess. This was the most torturous thing. After Di Haoyan's men left, Di Lingyue really got out of the car. He wanted to get close to the place where Di Junbai was locked up. But there were guards, and he couldn't enter at all. But when he thought that Di Junbai might be inside, Di Lingyue went all out and went forward. As expected, he was stopped. "What are you doing? Who's locked up inside?" Di Lingyue asked. "No one is locked up," the guard said coldly. "Why are you guarding here if no one is locked up?" "To be happy." Di Lingyue had no choice but to turn around and leave. After getting into the car, he called the police. Not long after, the police came. However, after the gatekeeper introduced himself, his strict and impartial demeanor instantly turned into polite politeness. He turned around and left. Who dared to offend Di Haoyan? Wasn't he the one who called the shots in D City? If the higher-ups knew that they offended Di Haoyan, not only them, but even the higher-ups would be in trouble. So, they had to leave with a smile. They even scolded as they walked. "If I find out who called the police and obstructed official business, I won't let him off." Di Lingyue, who was hiding in the car, was so angry that the flesh on his face was trembling. His heart was also trembling with fear. He knew about Di Haoyan's power and influence, but he realized that if he really wanted to fight Di Hao Ian on the surface, he definitely wouldn't be able to defeat Di Hao Ian with one hand. This was also the reason why he could only make things difficult for Angel Di Hao secretly. Therefore, he had to think of another way. Di Hao Ian was too ruthless. If it was really Di Junbai who was locked up in there, he would not have a good ending. Tang Bao had been staying in the castle all this time. Di Hao Ian had only seen him once after he sent her back that day, but he never came back again. She had even stopped asking the servant if Di Hao Ian had come back in the middle of the night while she was asleep. There was no point in asking. She didn't know how to face Di Hao Ian anymore. His usually nimble mind seemed to have rusted, and he had completely lost his ability to think. Tang Bao felt that he couldn't stay in the castle anymore. Now the castle had become so oppressive that she couldn't breathe even if Di Hao Ian wasn't around. It could only be said that Di Hao Ian's presence was too strong. Moreover, the company was left behind by Tang Qishan. She couldn't ignore it. Even if she could not go. Therefore, the next day, Tang Bao went to the company. When Wan Malay saw the person who came in, she was so scared that the documents in her hand fell down. "Am I that scary?" Tang Bao asked lightly. Wan Malay picked up the documents on the ground and asked, Why are you here? This is my company. Can't I come?" Tang Bao sat down on the office chair. Her body was soft, and she couldn't summon any strength. Wan Malay didn't argue with her about this topic, and she wasn't in the mood. She looked at Tang Bao's thin face worriedly. These days, she couldn't contact Tang Bao and couldn't go to the castle. She was worried for a few days. Other than losing some weight, she appeared in front of her safe and sound. Wan Malay really couldn't react for a while. Tang Bao didn't care about Wan Malay's reaction and asked, "Did anything happen in the company when I wasn't here?" "Nothing happened. It's still the same as before." "Is Zhou Jisen also here?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes. Do you want to see him?" "No, I'm just asking." Tang Bao thought that she had done something wrong to Di Hao Ian, and Di Hao Ian would withdraw the elite personnel who were rooted in the company in anger. She didn't expect that nothing would happen. Why? Di Hao Ian also said that if she did something wrong, he would break her bones and drink her blood. Now, it seemed that nothing had changed. But Tang Bao knew that the things that had changed were the most important thing in her heart. "Tang Bao, what happened that day?" Wan Malay wanted to comfort her, but she couldn't continue. "Does everyone know about it that day?" "Yes." Tang Bao couldn't imagine how Di Hao Ian felt when he saw that scene. Moreover, it was in front of so many people. Even if he didn't love her, she was still Di Hao Ian's wife. No man would be willing to accept his wife doing such a thing. Tang Bao felt that for a man, face was the most important thing. Therefore, Di Hao Ian's anger could only be because of this. "Tang Bao, don't be too sad. You didn't want to do this. It was just an accident." Wan Malay knew that Tang Bao liked Di Junbai, but she also knew that Tang Bao would not betray Di Hao Ian just because he liked Di Junbai. Tang Bao wouldn't do such a thing. "I know." Tang Bao's long eyelashes drooped slightly, casting a shadow. "At most, we'll get a divorce. I won't say anything." "Do we really have to go to that extent?" Tang Bao said. "Then do you think I still have the face to stay with Di Hao Qian?" In other words, the young master didn't mention a divorce. Wan Malay understood. Tang Bao shook his head helplessly. "This is considered good, right?" The young master didn't mention a divorce. "What does that mean?" "He probably won't let me go. Then he'll torture me and let me die slowly." "Ah, no, that can't be, right?" "Did the young master say that?" "Must he say it?" "I understand, even if he doesn't say it." "This," Wan Malay thought. "Are you sure it's not because of your rich imagination?" Tang Bao thought for a moment and asked, "Did it spread throughout the company?" "How is that possible?" "The young master has already warned all of us." "No one would dare to say it out," Wan Malay said. And he believed that no one would dare to say it out after being warned. Who would dare to joke about the lives of their entire family? "I want to know who drugged me that day." Tang Bao couldn't ask Di Hao Ian, and the others couldn't ask either. He could only ask Wan Malay. Actually, this was a misunderstanding. Yu Yinlian asked her assistant to drug Vice President Zhou. She wanted to use this method to roll in the sheets with Vice President Zhou and force him to remarry. Who knew that her assistant would put the wrong cup and drug you? Then you drank it. At that time, the villa collapsed, and you and Di Junbai hid in an aluminum alloy shelter. Tang Bao really wanted to die. She had run into such a ridiculous thing. Chapter 235. He couldn't wait to chop that idiot Yu Lianlian up. Tang Bao walked out of the office and bumped into Zhou Jisen at the elevator. Zhou Jisen was stunned. President Tang. Tang Bao glanced at him indifferently. You shouldn't be in my company now, right? I'm sorry. Zhou Jisen had never owed anyone anything. But this time his head was so low that it made him feel heavy. I have to bear the consequences of your small fight. Don't you feel guilty every time you see me? Tang Bao asked calmly and mercilessly. I can't leave this place without the young master's permission. Although he felt sorry for Tang Bao, Zhou Jisen didn't have the right to leave on his own. He also hoped that he could do something for Tang Bao. He couldn't make up for it, but at least he wouldn't turn away ruthlessly. Yu Lianlian had already received her retribution. She would no longer be in the entertainment industry. Tang Bao paused and asked, Where is Di Haotian? In T. Then, where does he sleep at night? Tang Bao asked. He also sleeps in T. Tang Bao didn't want to see Di Haotian. She didn't want to sleep in Di Haotian's room at first, because she was afraid of bumping into Di Haotian. She was just asking. Then you can continue to work here, Tang Bao said and left. It was useless if she didn't say that, but she just didn't know what Di Haotian wanted to do. Tang Bao suddenly felt a little scared. Was this all the calm before the storm? She knew too well how ruthless Di Haotian was. Would there be a good ending for betraying him like this? Or would he let her go because she thought it was an accident? Tang Bao didn't dare to think that way. She didn't even have the mood to think about Di Junbai. But Di Lingyue's house wasn't that quiet. Li Yuhuai, in particular, was so worried that he couldn't eat or drink. Lan Wanru stayed by her side and comforted her. Auntie, brother will be fine. Maybe you just want to do something and we'll be back in 2 days. What is he doing? Why isn't he back yet? He couldn't even get through to her on the phone. I was wondering if something had happened to him. Li Yuhuai's face turned pale at the thought of such a possibility. Tears streamed down her face. Auntie, it can't be. How could something happen? Don't scare yourself. Lan Wanru didn't know how to comfort her. She couldn't even convince herself. But she couldn't just watch as Li Yuhuai was heartbroken. Go try calling again. See if it gets through. Li Yuhuai remembered and immediately ordered the servant next to him. The servant ran to make a call. After the call, she said, It's still not working. Li Yuhuai couldn't stop himself from weeping bitterly. Just as Lan Wanru was at her wit's end, Di Lingyue came back. He scolded Li Yuhuai with an ugly expression. What's the use of crying? Will he come back if you cry? How can you say that? He's not your son? No matter how scheming Li Yuhuai was, her son was her son. How could she not be at a loss? Did I say that he's not my son? If crying is useful, then everyone can just stay here and cry. Di Lingyue was furious. Li Yuhuai didn't dare to cry anymore. She sobbed softly. Di Lingyue suppressed his anger and said to Lan Wanru, Come to my study for a while. Lan Wanru was stunned. She didn't know why Di Lingyue was looking for her alone. However, when Di Lingyue went to the study, she still followed him. After entering the study, the angry expression on Di Lingyue's face turned serious. He frowned. Lan Wanru saw this and asked, Uncle, did something happen to my brother? She didn't want to ask this. She didn't want that to happen. However, if nothing happened, why did Di Lingyue have such an expression? This was unusual. I can't find him, but I know where he is. I don't know what he did, but Di Haotian imprisoned him. What? Brother Haotian? Lan Wanru was stunned. How can that be? He's Brother Haotian's younger brother. He wouldn't do that, right? She couldn't imagine what could have done to offend Di Haotian. Imprisoning Di Junbai meant that something big must have happened. But there was nothing at all. Everything was peaceful. That day, Junbai went to a gathering with his friends. Tang Bao was there too. I don't know what happened, but the villa was bombed. No one was hurt except for your brother. Di Lingwei explained the situation to her. Don't tell me. Lan Wanru was shocked. At first, I thought the worst. I searched the collapsed villa, but I didn't see Junbai at all. After that, I followed Di Hao Ian and realized that he had imprisoned someone. I was wondering if the person inside was Junbai. Maybe it's someone else. Lan Wanru was still biased towards Di Hao Ian. I don't have a clue now. However, my intuition told me that Di Hao Ian was behind this. In Di City, other than him, who can make your brother suffer? Di Lingwei asked. Lan Wanru was speechless. Because this was the truth. In the eyes of outsiders, everyone in the Di family was not to be trifled with. Uncle, did you ask me to come in because you want me to get close to Brother Hao Ian? Lan Wanru was also a smart person. She immediately guessed it. Yes, I want to look for Yu Songhuan, but Yu Songhuan is a protective person. Even if she knows that it was her son who did it, she won't do anything. Wanru, you're so smart. You can definitely help your brother. Take it that I'm asking you to help him. Di Lingyue's tone softened. Uncle, please don't say that. This is my brother. I'm worried about him too. Of course, I'm willing to help him. Uncle, don't worry. Lan Wanru agreed readily. However, she was hesitant in her heart. Of course, this didn't mean that she wouldn't investigate Di Junbai's whereabouts. It was just that she knew how domineering Di Hao Ian was. He would never allow anyone to talk about his matters. Otherwise, it would be difficult to even get close to him. Therefore, she couldn't directly ask Di Hao Ian if Di Junbai's disappearance had anything to do with him. She just needed to do what she liked to do, as usual. Originally, she liked Di Hao Ian. It was normal for her to look for Di Hao Ian. When Tang Bao returned to the castle and realized that there was someone in the main hall, his heart skipped a beat. However, when he saw who it was, he looked at Lan Wanru calmly. When Lan Wanru saw Tang Bao, she was even more stunned. Why did he lose so much weight after not seeing him for a while? It wasn't that she cared about Tang Bao. She cared about a certain woman in Di Hao Ian. Lan Wanru walked forward. She wanted to take a closer look and realized that she didn't see wrongly. Tang Bao really lost weight. Why did you lose so much weight after not seeing you for a while? Why did Brother Hao Ian make you lose so much weight? Does he not care about you anymore? Lan Wanru asked deliberately. Chapter 236. I'm looking for Brother Hao Ian. Of course, I'm not looking for you. Tang Bao turned around uninterestedly. Then you can wait. After that, he went upstairs. When he was upstairs, Tang Bao turned around and found that Lan Wanru was really sitting on the sofa and waiting. Di Hao Ian wouldn't come back at all. Even if she waited until dawn, it would be useless. Lan Wanru thought that Di Hao Ian would come back in a while, but when Tang Bao went downstairs to eat, he didn't see Di Hao Ian. He saw that Tang Bao's mood was even stranger. It was different from before. For some reason, Lan Wanru felt that Di Junbai's meeting had something to do with Tang Bao. Miss Biao, why don't you eat here? Lian walked over and asked. Zhongli didn't want to call her that, but as the butler, he couldn't forget the castle's rules. Lan Wanru was a member of Di Ling's in-laws. It was just a meal. There was no need to make it so obvious. Lan Wanru walked into the dining room and sat down in the seat where Di Hao Ian used to sit. Tang Bao lowered his gaze and glanced over. He didn't say anything. Why didn't Brother Hao Ian come back for dinner? When will he come back? Lan Wanru asked Tang Bao. Since you want to know so much, why don't you call him and ask him yourself? Tang Bao didn't give him a good look. He's your husband. Shouldn't you call him? As a wife, aren't you neglecting your duty? Lan Wanru made up his mind to make Tang Bao feel bad. Tang Bao wasn't the kind of person who would be bullied. He didn't back down and said, Since you know he's my husband, shouldn't you leave this place as soon as possible? You, don't faint here. Di Hao Ian will find a doctor for you. I won't. I'll order someone to throw you out. Tang Bao, shut your mouth if you want to eat here. Tang Bao interrupted her forcefully. Every sentence blocked Lan Wanru's words, making Lan Wanru speechless. He looked at Tang Bao with a pale face. Tang Bao did not even look at her. He even ignored Lan Wanru's anger and lowered his head to eat. When he was done, He got up and left the dining room. After Tang Bao returned to his room, he did not care about Lan Wanru at all. Anyway, they weren't here to look for her, so why should she care so much? After taking a shower, she sat on the sofa and watched TV. After watching the TV, the two big black and white eyes were still staring at the screen. It was as if he didn't realize that the TV show had ended. It was obvious that her heart wasn't on the television at all. She didn't know where it had flown to. A knock on the door brought her back to reality. It was Zhongli who came in. What happened? The young master is back. Tang Bao immediately stood up in shock, but she just stood there, motionless. Her heart slowly fell, and she calmed herself down. Young madam, the young master is talking to Lan Juhuan in the hall. You should go and take a look, Zhongli thought. Tang Bao took the initiative to reconcile with Di Haoyan. Even if it was a cold war, these few days were enough. Tang Bao was not the kind of person who was too stubborn. Tang Bao sat down on the sofa again and lowered his gaze slightly. This posture was her powerlessness, confusion, and dejection. But Zhongli couldn't understand. He didn't understand why she sat down again. Young madam, the young master is a man. Sometimes he won't show weakness, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about young madam. As long as young madam takes the initiative to talk to him, the young master will definitely be very happy. Won't all the problems be solved? Zhongli said. Solve the problems? Would it? Tang Bao was very clear. It wouldn't. How could their problems be solved with just a few words? It's useless even if I talk. Di Haoyan hasn't come back yet. When Lan Wanru came, he immediately came back. He came back to see Lan Wanru. What's the point of me going? Don't say anymore. I know you mean well, but I'm really not in the mood, Tang Bao said dejectedly. Zhongli didn't know what to say. He sighed and turned to leave. After Zhongli left, Tang Bao dared to look up. There was already a thin layer of tears in her watery eyes. She didn't even have the courage to walk out of this door. She was afraid to see the disgust in Di Haoyan's eyes when he looked at her. It was as if she was so dirty. The moment Lan Wanru saw Di Haoyan, he was even more certain that there was a problem between him and Tang Bao. Although she didn't know what it was enough to make her happy. The atmosphere in the hall was very heavy, very quiet, and stagnant. Zhongli went up and down the stairs as if he was walking in time. After Zhongli came downstairs, he didn't do anything else. He just stood not far from the sofa and waited. It looked like he was ready to serve, but in fact, he just wanted to know what the two of them were talking about. He watched for Tang Bao. Brother Haoyan, why are you only back now? Have you eaten? If it's not, I'll ask the kitchen to cook for you, Lan Wanru asked with concern. Why are you looking for me? Di Haoyan took out a cigarette and lit it. He held the lighter in one hand. His posture was lazy, but it was full of the charm and sexiness of a man. Lan Wanru looked at Di Haoyan's every move. His chiseled and cold face, his noble and unrestrained temperament, and his indifferent and calm expression fascinated her. She really hoped that she was the cigarette between his slender fingers. Even if it burned out for him, she would be willing. Di Haoyan's sharp gaze looked over coldly. Lan Wanru's accelerated heart immediately tightened. With a forced smile on her face, she said, I'm fine. I just haven't been here for a long time, so I wanted to come and see you. Are you sure? Di Haoyan looked at her sharply. Of course. What else could it be? Lan Wanru observed his expression and asked again, Brother Haoyan, it's already late. Can I sleep here? Up to you. Di Haoyan's dark eyes narrowed. His emotions couldn't be seen. Thank you, Brother Haoyan. Lan Wanru felt that his illness was about to recover because of this sentence. On the other side, Zhang Li's heart was beating fast. Why did young Master Di let Lan Wanru sleep here? This wasn't very good, right? Wasn't he afraid that young madam would misunderstand if she knew? Even a blind person could tell that Lan Wanru liked young Master Di. Not only did young Master Di not avoid suspicion, but he even asked him to stay the night. However, Zhongli didn't dare to tell Tang Bao. He was afraid that Tang Bao would be sad. He only hoped that Tang Bao didn't know anything and that Lan Wanru would quickly leave after a night. Tang Bao stayed in the room alone. She watched TV and went to take a shower. After taking a shower, she lay on the bed. Now that she didn't have a cell phone, she could only stare blankly. She thought that she should buy a cell phone tomorrow. Then she thought, did Lan Wanru leave? Did Di Haoyin leave? Tang Bao tossed and turned on the bed and looked at the crystal wolf dog hanging on the table lamp. She couldn't help but take it down and hold it in her palm. It was cold to the touch, but the scene of buying the wolf dog at that time warmed her heart. This made Tang Bao get out of bed without thinking. She walked out of the room. It was silent outside. Tang Bao thought that Di Haoyin and Lan Wanru were not in the hall. Otherwise, why was there no sound? Chapter 237. Lan Wanru saw her and immediately shouted, Tang Bao, Brother Haoyin is back. You don't know yet, right? Are you here to look for Brother Haoyin? Standing at the entrance of the hall, Tang Bao was really in a dilemma. If she knew that they were still there, she would never have come down. However, when she saw Di Haoyin and Lan Wanru being so intimate in the hall, that scene pierced her heart. No, I came down to drink some water, Tang Bao said. Zhongli heard and immediately asked, do you want to drink water? I'll go get it now. Help me bring it to the room. Tang Bao had just finished instructing. Di Haoyin's cold voice sounded. Who said that we can eat in the room? Who said that? Tang Bao thought. Didn't he let her eat in the room many times in the past? He never said anything about the rules. Looks like I've really been hated by her. Tang Bao didn't say anything and walked to the pantry by herself. She sat down in front of the bar, and Zhongli poured her a glass of water. Tang Bao held the glass and drank it. Actually, she wasn't thirsty at all. She was just looking for an excuse to go downstairs. Since she was looking for an excuse, she couldn't let others see it. She simply drank the whole glass of water. Seeing this, Zhongli was stunned. So thirsty? After drinking the water, Tang Bao didn't want to stay downstairs. She wanted to leave quickly. She had to go through the hall, but someone just wouldn't let her go. Lan Wanru was already walking toward her. His attitude was gentle and without any tit for tat. Tang Bao, it's late. It's too late if I want to go back. I'll stay here for the night. Brother Haoyin also agreed. I want to ask you what you think. Can I stay here? Di Haoyin could only see the side of his face from where he was sitting. Sharp lines and expressionless indifference. Even though Lan Wanru had said so, he still turned a blind eye to it. Di Haoyin had already said so. What did she have to say no? She said, if you want to stay, then stay. You don't have to ask me. On the other side, Di Haoyin uncrossed his long legs and leaned forward. He stubbed out the cigarette in the ashtray and stood up. You can stay here for as long as you want. After that, Di Haoyin left. Tang Bao stared blankly in the direction where the figure disappeared. Her heart ached as if it was filled with sulfuric acid, burning her internal organs. It was very painful. Didn't she say that she would stay for one night? How did it become that she could stay as long as she wanted? What was Di Haoyin trying to do? Were they here to humiliate her? Lan Wanru's mood was the exact opposite of Tang Bao's. That meant that she could stay here any time in the future. She could also see Brother Haoyin whenever she wanted to. Lan Wanru looked at Tang Bao's devastated expression and pretended to ask with concern, are you okay? Will you have a problem with me staying here for a long time? You heard it. This is Brother Haoyin's idea. You can't blame me. After that, Lan Wanru was led to her room by the servant. Tang Bao didn't say anything and returned to her room. As soon as the door was closed, tears streamed down her face. In the dark night, all the lights in the room were turned off. It was pitch black. Because the lights were on, Tang Bao couldn't sleep well. In the dead of night, the door to the room was pushed open silently. A figure darker than the night walked in. Then he stood by the bed. On the bed, Tang Bao was curled up slightly. She was sleeping. Di Haoyin's face looked even more dangerous in the dark. His dark eyes stared quietly and darkly at the slender, defenseless person. Are you satisfied with everything now? Do you want to go back to him so badly? Since this is what you want, I will satisfy you. But it has nothing to do with leaving. Do you understand? Tang Bao was sleeping well. She seemed to hear someone talking to her. The voice was familiar to her. It was low and hoarse, so clear. It made her open her eyes abruptly. However, when she woke up and looked around with her watery eyes, the room was empty. She was the only one left. There was no one else. There was no familiar low and hoarse voice. Only the morning sun shone lazily through the window curtains. Tang Bao washed up and went downstairs for breakfast. Before she entered the dining room, she heard Lan Wanru's voice. Although the other party was silent, Tang Bao could guess who she was talking to from Lan Wanru's tone. Tang Bao found that she felt even worse when she saw Di Hao Ian than when she saw Lan Wanru. It was a physical and mental oppression. Was she turning around and leaving? Tang Bao felt that she didn't even have the right to be willful now. In front of Di Hao Ian, she only felt guilty. It was as if her face was covered with a layer of disgrace. It was very ugly. She walked into the dining room. Di Hao Ian sat in his exclusive seat, and Lan Wanru sat in Tang Bao's seat. This scene looked really harmonious, and she looked so redundant. Zhang Li immediately brought Tang Bao's breakfast over. Tang Bao sat down and ate. She didn't know what she was eating. There was no taste in her mouth. It was almost like swallowing dates. After she finished eating, she left the restaurant without saying a word. Lan Wanru was about to say something to Di Hao Ian, but she found that Di Hao Ian's face was frighteningly cold. The air suddenly became strangely oppressive and suffocating. She choked on the words that came out her throat. She didn't dare to make a sound. Tang Bao naturally had to go to the company. So, she left the castle after eating. On the way, she saw a mobile phone store, but she didn't get out of the car. Because the villa collapsed, all the things she brought were buried, including her favorite bags, bank cards, and mobile phones. In other words, she was really penniless now. Tang Bao went to the company and went straight to the finance department. I want money. The boss of the finance department looked at Tang Bao in a daze. President Tang, how much money do you want? Why did it feel like she was working in a bank and was robbed by bandits? I lost my wallet. Just think of it as borrowing from the finance department. I can write an IOU. Lend me 500,000 yuan. Tang Bao thought about it and gave a number. The finance department was stunned again. What's wrong? Is it too much? Tang Bao wanted to borrow it all at once, in case he didn't need to borrow it again when he didn't have enough. She didn't know how long it would take to report the loss of her ID card. No, it's not much at all. There's no need for an IOU. The finance department shook his head quickly. This is your company. Who would dare to find trouble with you if you took the money? You could transfer 500,000 yuan to Wan Malay's card. I don't have a card. Okay. When Tang Bao returned to the office, Wan Malay was not there. She sat down on the sofa and was in a daze. Wan Malay entered the office and was stunned when she saw Tang Bao. Then, she sat down beside Tang Bao and hid the joy on her face. Baby, I'll treat you to a big meal at noon. Tang Bao glanced at her. Did money fall from the sky? It really did. You guessed it right. 500,000 yuan? How did you know? You guessed it right, didn't you? Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao in shock and fear. I asked the finance department to do it. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.